Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the 2019 Illinois Swimming Senior Championships. This is the long course event. I am your host, Jason Pfeiffer, and I am joined this evening by Mr. Bill Downing. Hi, Bill. How are you?
How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good. So we had the preliminary action this morning. This is the final action. We're going to run down the events for you really quick. We're going to start off with the 100-meter breaststroke for the men's and the women's. We're going to go to the 200 freestyle. After that, we will have an awards break. We will then continue with the 100-meter butterfly. We will go then to the 400-meter individual medley. Then we will have another break. And then we will conclude the evening with the 800-meter freestyle relay. And again, this is the finals action. Again, we have preliminary races this morning. And before we get started with the national anthem and before we throw it down to the pool deck, I would like to recognize a few sponsors and meet officials. I want to start off with Speedo, who is an official sponsor of Illinois Swimming and all championship meets. Also would like to recognize Athletico. At Athletico Physical Therapy, we know there is freedom from pain and you can get back to doing the things you love. If pain is slowing you down, visit athletico.com/appointments to request your complimentary injury screening and start feeling better today. We are proud to be the official provider of physical therapy for Illinois Swimming. Athletico Physical Therapy, better for everybody. And it looks like we are about ready to get started here, so I will throw it now to the pool deck announcer, and we will get started with the final action. All right, we are back, and again, this is the first event of the evening. It is the C final heat number 1. It's event number 3, the women's 100-meter breaststroke. In lane 1, we'll have Angelina Messina. In lane 2, we have Samantha Rankin. In lane 3, Ashley Seago. In lane 4, Audrey Richardson. In lane 5, Kelly Willite. In lane 6, Isabella Pytel. In lane 7, Emma Ruby. In lane 8, Tyra Geronis. Lane 9, Megan Michaels. And in lane 10, Carissa Sepon.
Yeah, so this is the C final, and we have 3 final heats in each event tonight. The C final followed by the B, and then finally the A final, which is our top 10 qualifiers. So 30 swimmers will compete in the finals. Their lane assignment and their heats are determined by their performances in the morning and the preliminaries. So those girls that will be swimming in the C final, they're limited to scoring only in this final. So it doesn't matter how fast they go, they cannot score higher than the C final place. So 21st place would be their highest finish. As we get deeper into the event, into the A finalists, those are swimmers that could be competing for Olympic trial qualifying times or will be going on to U.S. Nationals later on this summer. So for some kids, this is their championship meet, and this is the ultimate, the pinnacle of their season. Other kids are swimming through this meet and are using this as a tune-up for either regional meets or national meets later on in the summer.
And either way, again, it's going to be an exciting night. of action. Again, we are at the Recplex here at Pleasant Prairie. I believe the Patriot Swim Club is the home of the Patriot Swim Club.
Patriot Aquatic Club, and
Yep.
there's a Patriot Swim Club in Wisconsin. It's their club. There's also a Patriot Aquatic Club. We'll talk a lot about tonight. They're from Illinois, but so not to be confused. But yes.
Excellent. It looks like we will get started here very soon. I think the swimmers are just waiting for that whistle to get into the blocks. Once again, I'll run down those lane assignments for you and set the scene, actually, if you're watching at home on YouTube/Illinois Swimming. At the bottom of your screen, it will be lane 1 all the way to the top and lane 10. And it looks like these young ladies are ready to step in. And here we go. Again, event number 3, women's 100-meter breaststroke. This is a sprint distance, so it will be some quick action, Bill.
Yeah, it will be, and so it's just one trip down the pool and then back. And typically you'll look to the swimmers in the middle of lanes. Those are the ones with the fastest qualifying times. And right off the bat, we have lane 5. That's Kelly Willite from Maverick Swim Club up to the early lead. Right next to her is Isabella Pytel from Academy Bullets, also out to a good start.
Yeah, and again, these are sprint distances, so there's no conserving of energy necessary for these young swimmers, these young athletes. It's, again, one trip down and back, and these young ladies are going to leave it all out there as they head to the first turn. It looks like
Izzy Pytel is first with a 35.1. That's about a half a second faster. She's out in 35.4. And then, Kelly Wilhite, you watch the breaststrokers. They can do one underwater stroke. We call it an underwater pullout. And Kelly Willite's got some really strong underwater pullouts. But Izzy Pytel is looking really good on top of the water right now. And it looks like those two. But let's keep an eye on lane 1 also. Angelina Messina from St. Charles. Looks like she's coming up on the bottom of the pool.
She
bottom of your screen.
definitely is, Bill. And I think she may have a slight lead as they go under the flags and approach the wall. We will look at who gets there first. It's going to be close, but it is Kelly Willite in lane 5 from the Mavericks with a 1:15.94, 40.53 on that last 50-meter split.
All three girls. And the interesting thing about breaststroke, there's a timing to the finish that you have to reach the wall, and you get caught on a half a stroke more so than other strokes.
And again, quick action. So we are moving right along. This is the B final now, heat number 2. In lane 1, it'll be Natalie Ungaretti. In lane 2, Allison Penrod. In lane 3, Nina Malin. All three of these young ladies are from Academy Bullets. In lane 4, we have Emily Bolger. In lane 5, we have Audrey Kasimits. In lane 6, we have Rose Janya. In lane 7, we have Sarah Jass. In lane 8, Callahan Dunn. In lane 9, Camilla Nowak. And in lane 10, at the top of your screen, will be Lillian Culp.
Some of these girls, if you see a UN after their name, it means they're swimming unattached. Most kids are attached to a swim club, but some kids are college kids coming back, and so they're still training with their college team, so they're just swimming unattached through here, or there's various reasons why kids would be unattached.
Yeah, that fastest seed time belongs to lane 5, Audrey Kasimits with the 1:15.88.
And down at the bottom of your screen, lane 1, Natalie Ungaretti's a really strong sprint freestyler, and so she's got a lot of strength and speed, so she's out to the early lead. And also Sarah Joss in lane 7 look to be the two early leaders in this heat, but they're going to all touch the wall pretty closely. You want to watch the swimmers, hitting these turns like we talked about at the finish. If you can hit that turn on a full stroke without gliding, that's a huge advantage to you.
Yeah, how much time would you say like that extra glide will take away from a transition, Bill? Because that's so key in these sprint distances.
Well, you not only lose speed, but you lose your momentum going into the wall, and then you have to work harder through the turn. So it can be as much as a second, but certainly a half a second for sure.
So that is lane 4 with about 25 meters left to go. Emily Bolger swimming unattached. Again, in lane 7, though, Sarah Jass is right there with her. But it's a tight grouping as these young ladies approach the flags.
Yeah, this race is really too close to call right now. It looks like Sarah Joss is out to lead. We're in the middle of the pool, so it's difficult for us to get down the finish line and see the finish. So
looks like Rose Janya in lane 6 from St. Charles. She will touch the wall first with a 1:15.84.
Yeah, Rose Janya, 13 years old, the youngest one in the field. She's going to be a freshman in high school next year. Join her older sister, Mary, and so it's a good addition for that high school team.
And we'll throw it down now to the pool deck for our A final.
Money changing colors like tie-dye. I'm just trying to get it, I ain't trying to die. She got a big ol' on your booty, make the world And now, the competitors in your championship final. In lane 1 from Academy Bullets, Julia Krall. In lane 2 from St. Charles, Mary Jania. In lane 3 from St. Charles, Elissa Brault. In lane 4 from Alligator Aquatics, Maggie Papanopoulos. In lane 5 from NASA, Casey Venn. In lane 6 from New Trier, Kaylin Gridley. In lane 7 from Academy Bullets, Madeline Wiening. In lane 8 from NASA, Mary Erb. In lane 9 from West, Anna Gloniak. And in lane 10 from NASA, Annika Wagner.
And again, this is the A final women's 100-meter breaststroke sprint distance, and they are in the blocks and ready to go, Bill.
Absolutely. Watch Casey Van early. She's in the middle of the pool at 1:13.0. Kaylin Gridley 1:13 also. So watch for those two with the two fastest times. But again, the prelims are interesting because there's 10 lanes and finals that you can get into in this championship heat. Some of the swimmers in the morning, the top swimmers, don't have to give their best effort early in the morning. So you can see a lot of variations in this heat too, and we're seeing right now, it's coming in from the middle of the pool, but lane 4 also, Megan Papanopoulos looks like she's going to be in the early lead.
Approaching that first split, we will check those times. 34.46 for Casey Venn from Wildcat.
Right, and that's just a little bit, just a couple hundredths faster, so she's going on the same speed. But again, a lot of times, you might see a swimmer shut it down at the end of the race and kind of coast a little bit to save some energy in the morning. So we'll see if that's the case. But right now, it is the middle of the pool, and it's Maggie Papanopoulos and Kaylin Gridley with the lead. And Kaylin Gridley's got a lot of energy right now, and she's really carrying that strong. She is really pulling away from this field.
Lane 6, Kaylin Gridley. Looks like she's going to get there first in the A final. Let's check her time from New Trier. It will be a 1:11.42 for Miss Kaylin Gridley. She will be your winner in the A final. Congratulations.
That's a great swim, and it's only a half a second off the U.S. Olympic trials qualifying time. And swimmers can use these are championship meets that swimmers can qualify to swim in the Olympic trials, which would give them an opportunity to make the U.S. Olympic team. So that's a big swim, and my guess is that she's probably got some other big meets coming up down the road, and U.S. Nationals and such, and she'll have another opportunity to get that cut.
I'm sure. I think we will see her again for a few more times throughout this weekend. 4 days of competition, Thursday through Sunday here at the beautiful Recplex for the 2019 Illinois Swimming Long Course Championships. Event number 4 now. It's the men's turn, the 100-meter breaststroke. In lane 1, we have Logan Nielsen. In lane 2, Dylan Jones. In lane 3, William Newlands. In lane 4, Alexander Dvorak. In lane 5, Charles Duffy. In lane 6, Camden Swigert. In 7, Jedrick Gamilla. In lane 8, Tyler Spillane. In lane 9, Michael Romero. And at the top of your screen in lane 10 is Mr. Kyle Falkstrom.
And in the men's event, this is a big power event for both the women and the men. But for the men in particular, you should see a lot stronger underwater pulls right now in lane 2 and in lane 8. That's Ty Spillane in lane 8 from Academy Bullets. Looks to have the lead.
We'll check his split time as they approach the wall. First 50 meters, 31.63 for Mr. Tyler Spillane out of Academy Bullets.
Great opening split for Ty, and it took a little bit of a half stroke going into that wall, but that actually helped him to get into the wall better, and so he's out in 31.6 like we mentioned. He was out in 31.7 this morning, so let's see if he's got the energy to hang on.
Tyler Spillane right now has the lead, about 20 meters left, but right below him in lane 7 is Jedrick Gamilla from the Mavericks, starting to gain a little bit of ground as a few other swimmers now in lanes 3 and 5. It's going to be a little bit close.
Looks like Ty's got it. Looks like he's going to take this race coast to coast.
At the wall, it is Mr. Tyler Spillane from Academy Bullets with a 1:09.01 time here in the C final. Congratulations.
And what's interesting about that swim, he was a 1:10.9 this morning, and then he goes a 1:09.01. That time would have qualified him 10th this morning. He would have an opportunity to swim for a medal and get those the bigger points are in the later heats. So maybe slacked a little bit this morning. I can say that because he swam swimming. Yeah, maybe probably didn't have a little bit stronger effort in the morning. And it's really important that you do race in that situation in the morning so that you get the shot to swim in the A final.
On to the B final now. In lane 1, we have Benjamin Guerrero. In lane 2, Travis Hall. In lane 3, Julian Green. In lane 4, Daniel Galinsky. In lane 5, Spencer Burkhalter. In lane 6, Cale McLaren. In lane 7, Nathaniel Baxter. In lane 8, Derek Song. In 9, Ryan Purdy. And in lane 10, Mr. Kyle Hathaway. Once again, this is the B final, men's 100-meter breaststroke. Fastest seat time here belongs to Mr. Spencer Burkhalter in lane 5, from PPD.
That's the Palatine Park District Swim Club.
In the blocks they are, and in the water they are. Great underwater work.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough to see. I'm not sure what it looks like on yours, but from where we're at, it's a beautiful day, and you can see the lake out in the distance. But it does create a little bit of glare, so it's a little difficult to see. It's kind of nice when they get in the middle and we can watch them. But right now, it's lane number 6.
6, yep.
That's Cale McLaren from Academy Bullets out there with the early lead. Let's see where he is compared to his split. He was out in a 32.5 this morning. And watch that there. He hits that wall perfectly on a full extension. 32.1. He's 4/10 faster than this morning. Good pullout. Lane number 4 also had a great pullout. That's Daniel Galinsky. We'll see if Ty can hold these guys off, and or Cale, I mean. Nathaniel Baxter coming up on the outside. And in the middle of the lane, it's really going to get tight now.
Yep.
So,
as these young men, they grind toward the wall. That is lane 4. Again, he just mentioned Daniel Galinsky from CPD, making this race tight as they go under the flags and approach those blocks. Let's see who get there first. And it is lane 6, Cale McLaren from Academy Bullets with a 1:08.71.
Another swim that would have been top 10, and so he's an Academy Bullet, and I'm with the Bullets. I can tell you that I probably wishes he's probably going to have some words with his coach about why he wasn't in the A final. But great effort, and the interesting thing too is when you get tired at the end of the race, it's really important that you drive the legs and keep the legs pushing the body forward. So we're going to turn it over to the announcer here in a second as the swimmers are parading in.
And now, the championship final in the men's 100-meter breaststroke. In lane 1 from Lions, Michael Flynn. In lane 2 from Wheaton Swim Club, Samuel Flessner. In lane 3 from Glenbrook, Max Ida. In lane 4 from Waves, Thomas Reedy. In lane 5 from Academy Bullets, Michael Rosa. In lane 6 from Dunlap Dolphins, Daniel Matlock. In lane 7 from Hinsdale Swim Club, Tristan Lundgren. In lane 8 from Peoria, Justin Ollerson. In lane 9 from Academy Bullets, Jack O'Connor. And in lane 10 from Hornet Age Group Club, William Gallagher.
About 2-3 weeks ago, Illinois Swimming took an all-star team of our top athletes to Toronto to train at the Pan American the Center where the Pan Am Games were held a couple of years ago. And it's interesting. I think there's 5 swimmers in this heat that were on that camp. So, Michael Rosa, Tristan Lundgren, Justin Algren, Max Aida, who else? I saw Jack O'Connor were all at that camp training together. And now here they are racing against each other. And the beauty of these camps is these kids can really build some friendships. When you go to a national meet by yourself, it's good to have Team Illinois behind us. So we'll see how these guys do now. And we've seen several of those swimmers make Olympic trial cuts since they've returned from the camp. But right now it looks like in lane 7, that is Tristan Lundgren.
Yep, lane 7.
Yep, and but now coming off the wall, it's looks like in the middle of the pool, Michael Rosa with a great underwater pull. And watch Max Aida too in lane 3. He's a really good IMer who's got all 4 strokes, and he's got great back half speed. So some really good racers. We saw some great work from these guys down up in Toronto. So It's going to be an interesting finish.
Yeah, a tight grouping as they go under the flags. Who will get there first? It's going to too close to call right now. As they hit that wall, I think it's going to be lane 3. It is Max Aida with a 1:06.20, 34.99 on that split time. And you called it, Bill. Great closing speed in that championship final.
Yeah, he was home in 34.9. The only guy back in under 35 seconds, and it's really important. Stayed on top of the water. Sometimes you'll see swimmers and they get tired in breaststroke, they get low in the water. He stayed up on top of the water, and that was huge for him.
Congratulations to Mr. Max Aida. On to event number 5 now. It's the women's 200-meter freestyle. It is the C final. Let me give you those lane assignments. Again, it'll be at the bottom of your screen, starting with lane 1, Michaela Herwig. Lane 2 is Paige Armstrong. Lane 3, Amber Finke. Lane 4, Kayla Lovell. Lane 5, Julia Polsky. Lane 6, Laurel Bludgeon. Lane 7, Kiara McGowan. Lane 8, Mary Kate Phillips. Lane 9, Anna Long. And in lane 10 at the top of your screen, Miss Emily Regula.
This is going to be a little bit different strategy than the 100 breaststroke, the 200 free. Even in a 100 race, especially long course, you do want to build up a little bit, maybe the first third or half of the first length of the pool. This race is really, really important. If you see swimmers with really big, fast kicks at the beginning, they're going to burn a lot of lactic acid early, and they're going to be hurting on the way back. So the key is to control your speed and have some fast speed at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, definitely that key, like you just mentioned, Bill, for these middle distances races as the ladies are in the water. I want to give you that meet record real quick. It belongs to Miss Lindsay Gendron back in 2010 with a 2:03.78. First 25 meters. And we'll give you those split times.
Looks like Kira McGowan and Laurel Bludgeon in lane 6 and 7 turn together. Kira's a good little sprinter, so we'd expect her to get out early. And this is a race, too, that, the sprinters will get out early, and then the distance swimmers will be able to, their goal is to try to reel them in. So we'll see how that goes.
Also lanes 2 and 3, Paige Armstrong and Amber Finke, also right there in that lead group.
Yep. It looks like we're going to see Laurel Bludgeon. Sorry, Laurel. Turning at 1:02.6 or 1:02.4. Right behind her, Kira McGowan, and then the two in lanes 2 and 3, Armstrong and Finke that we mentioned before. And Armstrong is starting to make a real strong move here now, moving up a little bit ahead on him. And but it really is a 4-swimmer race right now. I don't see the other girls really making a serious challenge. And right as soon as I say that, I see Anna Long from Patriot out in lane 9 starting to slide up with the leaders. So right now it looks like lane 2 and 7. Out in the early with the lead. Paige Armstrong is moving up really nicely. Still got a strong, steady kick. But keep an eye on Laurel Bludgeon, who's been leading this race all the way. And there's still a lot of these girls all holding 33. So now you get down to the end. This is where you just got to put your head down and get your legs going and just drive to the wall. Kara McGowan is staying right there with them also. And then Anna Long, we mentioned earlier too, coming up in lane 9. So really it's still a 4-person race.
Let's see who will get there first. It's going to be lane 6, Laurel Bludgeon with a 2:08.94, 33.08 on that last 50.
And Kira McGowan, those two were 1-2 at the beginning. That's kind of unusual, actually, that you see the swimmer who turns first to the first 50 still maintain that at the end. Usually you see some movement in the heats, and so we'll see how that goes in the other heats.
On to the B final now. Let's give you those lane assignments. In 1, it's Annabelle Olivo. In lane 2, Kennedy Lavelle. In lane 3, Molly Rosenthal. In lane 4, Alyssa Hockey. In lane 5, Abby Tauti. In lane 6, Lauren Payton. In lane 7, Sydney Kelly. In lane 8, Ashley Bankson. In lane 9, Elliot Kennedy. And in lane 10, Miss Michelle Kaner. Fastest seed time here for this B final belongs to lane 5, Miss Abby Tauti from the Wolfpack with a 2:09.15. Again, this is event number 5, the women's 200-meter freestyle. Young ladies are in the blocks now, and we're ready to get started.
Kind of show you a little bit of the depth of Illinois swimming. Kennedy Lovell in lane 2, and Elliot Kennedy in lane. Elliot Kennedy in lane 9 was also in the camp. Camp at Toronto, but she's more of a longer distance swimmer. She's a phenomenal distance swimmer. So this short race for her is just trying to get some speed into her swimming.
Lanes 1 and 2, Annabelle Olivo and Kennedy Lavelle from Tide and Academy Bullets, respectively, are off to the great start.
And lane 4 also, Alyssa Hack. That turns right with them.
Yep,
So,
29.50 for Alyssa Hack. And that's the Hinsdale Swim Club, I believe, right?
And I would definitely, on the back half of this race, keep an eye on. I think Kennedy Lovell and Elliot Kennedy, they're both really, really talented distance swimmers. And so as some swimmers start to get a little bit tired, I would look for them to just keep their tempo going. You probably won't see a huge rush on them at the end, but you'll see consistency. So
first 100 meters looks like lane 4.
Yep.
Alyssa Hack with a 31.79 split time, Bill.
She's from Hinsdale Swim Club, so we'll see how she can hang on. She is, like I said, out in a 101.2. She was out this morning in about the same, 101.2 also again, or 102 actually this morning. So she's out significantly faster. We'll see how she hangs on. But here, watch lane 9, and again, you see Elliot Kennedy. She's a premier distance swimmer in the state, and she's starting to move up too. And she's pulling along Ashley Bankston with her and their teammates. So they train together every day, so it's not surprising. And we see Kennedy Lovell too at the bottom of your screen starting to move up too. But really is looks like Alyssa does have this race in hand. Alyssa Hacky. I'm not sure how she says her name, from Hinsdale. So I apologize for that, but if your mom's listening. But look at Elliot Kennedy up in lane 9. So she's really starting to get out in front here.
Lane 2 starting to close as well.
Yep. So
that's Kennedy Lovell in lane 2. It's making this race close, Bill.
But
it looks
that's
like,
lane 9. That's Elliot Kennedy in lane 9. Ashley Bankston right next to her teammate. When you got your teammates next to you, you know each other. Then she pulls her along, and then it was the rest of the field in the middle. It was Alyssa Hackey hung on for third place, and so
207.97 for Miss Elliot Kennedy, touching the wall first. As we move it down now to the pool deck for our A final.
And now the championship final in the women's 200-meter freestyle. In lane 1, unattached, Callahan Dunn. In lane 2, from NASA, Azra Abdick. In lane 3, from Academy Bullets, Jessica Drain. In lane 4, from Maverick Swim Club, Callie Frankowiak. In lane 5, from Waves, Anna Peplowski. In lane 6, from NASA, Carly Nobeline. In lane 7, from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Catherine Morris. In lane 8, from Academy Bullets, Allison Penrod. In lane 9, from St. Charles, Anne Margaret Cavierne. And in lane 10, from Delta, Corinne Geist.
All right, you just heard those names. A final women's 200-meter freestyle. Ladies getting set in the blocks. A junior national seed time for Miss Anna Poplowski.
Absolutely, and again, there's five of the top 6 swimmers in this heat were in that Toronto camp. But this is an elite deep field right here, and boom, right up the bat, it's Anna Poplowski getting after it. Olympic trial cuts is a 201.6. U.S. Nationals is 201.7. So we'll be looking at that and see if she's trying to be a little bit aggressive early on in the race. But sliding up alongside, that's Carlene Noveline that's out in the lead. And but Anna Poplowski is pulling up alongside of her. And again, having trained together for that week in Toronto gives these girls kind of a little bit of confidence against each other. If you have a swimmer you've always beaten and then you get into a practice, you realize, hey, I'm pretty good too.
Yeah.
So you know, it's interesting, and it gives, I think, all the kids a little bit more confidence when they're racing. But these two ladies, Anna and Carly, are definitely, they're going to get out in front of this. And
pretty much stroke for stroke right now
other.
as they approach that first 100 meters. We'll give you those split times in just a second. Yep, 31.12 for Anna Poplawski, 31.26 for Carly Novoline.
That's about what they were out in this morning, a little bit quicker than this morning. So, yeah, so we're going to see. They're probably not fast enough to get that trial cut of a 2:01.6. I think you probably want to be out in a 58 mid to 58 low for that to happen. You'd have to have a huge swim. You'd have to be coming back in 30 points at this point, and it's just not realistic when they were going 31 on the second 50. But we'll see how they go. Neither one of them are fully tapered for this meet. This would not be a meet that they would fully rest for, but they're definitely putting on a show here, out still holding 31s, both out 31, and a little racing going. But here, Carly Novoline is
starting to pull away here.
Driving the legs. Anna Poplawski is more of a distance swimmer. A lot of the girls in Bloomington tend to train a little bit higher yardage, so probably need a little bit more rest to be able to handle that speed. But Carla Novoline, again, we don't know if she's rested or not, or where she's at in her training, but put on a great swim right here. And boy, 2:02.03. Well, I said they need to be out in 59. Maybe she only needs to be out in 59 low, but she's only a half a second off the Olympic trials cut. What's interesting, 30.9 on that last 50. She was 31 mid in the second 50. So, and it may seem like, God, why would you go slower in the middle? But it's part of that building your speed process.
Right, and momentum that you talk about. Yeah. Absolutely, Bill. You want to be at your best at the finish in these middle distance and long distance races. And again, congratulations to Miss Carly Novoline from Wildcat, 2:02.03 on that final time. As we move on now, it's the men's turn. Event number 6, the 200-meter freestyle. It's the C final. I'll give you those names. In lane 1, we have Daniel Young. In lane 2, Benjamin Kimmel. In lane 3, Ben Rutledge. In lane 4, William Boley. In lane 5, Trevor Carter. In lane 6, Matthew Nagler. In lane 7, Anthony Carollo. In lane 8, we have Evan Ziolkowski. I apologize in advance if I got that name wrong. In lane 9, Tyler McLaren. And in lane 10, Mr. Luke Lanigan. And again, those lanes start at the bottom of your screen with lane 1, going up to lane 10 at the top of your screen.
That's an interesting mix of swimmers. You've got some younger swimmers, some juniors in the mix, and also a couple college kids in here too. And it's not uncommon to see a college swimmer finish their freshman year or sophomore year in college and come home and train with their home club and get some sleep in your own bed for a while.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, I tell you.
Most college kids do tend to stay back, but we do have a handful in not only in this meet but also in this event. So I think that'll be interesting to watch too. But right now we've got
27.49. Matthew Nagler, that's lane 6 from St. Charles on his first 50 split.
Watch Luke Lanigan from Scout Aquatics at the top. He'd be at the top of your screen, I'm sorry. And Ty McLaren also, they're moving up with those leaders. But it's still Matthew Nagler, and he's turning at 57.7. And again, as we talked about, the two at the bottom of the screen, 58 and 50, both of them at 58, so we'll see what happens. The third 50 right now, this is the most important one, because now you just swam 100, now you got to do it all over again. And it's really important that you really get the legs after it now. You'll see guys that are not kicking quite as hard, they're going to start falling to the back of the pack. And so you really want to have some good energy here and really establish that rhythm. Because when you come home on that last length, if you're feeling decent at all, you're going to be able to put together a good last 50. So,
boy, I tell you, lane 1, Daniel Young from Glenbrook had the best split time, and he's gained some ground with a 30.74. He's put himself right in the mix here, but it looks like still Mr. Nagler may have a slight lead. But again, Daniel Young has closed on him, Bill.
He really has. He's got a big kick going. He's got really, really good tempo. And but we'll see. But Nagler certainly responded to that, and it looks like it is going to be Nagler. But
no, Daniel Young, yeah, he had some great closing speed down there in lane 1.
That's why we're the experts with all these things.
He's going to touch the wall first with a 159.79. Again, great back half for Mr. Young.
And ironically, though, Nagler actually outsplit him at the end. So Daniel Young had the lead. And again, it's kind of looking almost head on at these kids at that point, and not very good angles. But Daniel Young actually had the lead after the third 50. So
on to the B final now. It's lane 1. We have Mr. Colin Kingsley. Lane 2, Jackson Aarons. In lane 3, William Gallagher. In lane 4, Austin Millard. In lane 5, we have Andy Ritzema. In lane 6, William Raitt. In lane 7, Daniel Putzko. In lane 8, Samuel Dienstag. In lane 9, Peter Luchik. Sorry if I got that name wrong. In lane 10, we have Mr. Aaron Martin from the Flying Fish. Fastest seed time belongs to Mr. Ritzema with a 158.60, and that is a sectional standard. Meet record here is a 152.21 set back in 2015 by Nikita Bondarenko. In the water they are. Again, this is the B final. Men's 200-meter freestyle.
And again, there's some talented swimmers in this field, and again, these guys are probably, in the B final because they're not fully rested for this meet, not to make excuses for them. Also, the prelims, when you're swimming in the morning, it's a little bit lower energy in the meet than it is in the final and the hype and everything. So, some kids just respond differently to that type of atmosphere. So,
and also these athletes swim multiple races, multiple distances as well, Bill. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I've had the pleasure for doing this for a year now, and I say it every time. I just continue to be amazed by these young athletes. They swim day in, day out, all day, and they still turn in great results. And it's fun to watch.
Absolutely. And it looks like Austin Millard had the lead at the 50, but it really is tightening up. And right now, I'd look for Peter Luchik from Wild. He's definitely had a dominant split. He outsplit the entire field by 9/10 of a second.
Yeah, sub 30 for Peter Luchik, 29.41.
Yeah, and look at his kick right now. You see the big kick. He's got the advantage now. He can look down the entire length of the pool and see where he's at. Right. Austin, who is in lane 3, looks like to be in second, or lane 4 looks to be in second place. He's got a lot of traffic, so he may not even see him, and that could be a motivating factor too. So, but again, Peter Luchik turns at another 29-second split. He's just pulling away from the field right now. Nobody's going to catch him.
No, he's got about a body length, more than a body length lead now on the rest of the field. Again, he is pulling away last 25 meters for Mr. Luchik from Wildcat. He's having an amazing swim.
And Will Raitt in the middle of the pool. He's in lane 6 from Academy Bullets. He looks like in second place. Hard to tell third, but it could be Austin Millard or maybe Daniel Putzko.
Let's see, it'll be William Raitt touching second. Peter Luchik getting there first, obviously, with a 157.21 time. And again, coming in second was Mr. William Raitt, followed by Daniel Putzko in lane 7. And we will move it down now to the pool deck for the A final.
Your championship final in the men's 200-meter freestyle. In lane 1 from NASA, Everett Andrew. In lane 2 from Bloomington, Tyson Tucci. In lane 3 from Chicago Wolfpack, Matthew Fernandez. In lane 4 from NASA, Ryan Gridley. In lane 5 from Wheaton Swim Club, Liam Hutchinson. In lane 6 from NASA, Luke Maurer. In lane 7 from New Trier, Ian Vandergraaf. In lane 8 from NASA, Rex Maurer. In lane 9 from Glenbrook, Sammy Musali. And in lane 10 from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Nicholas Endres.
So we're back here again. We got the championship final, and there's an interesting mix here. We've got some collegiate swimmers in here, guys like Ian Vandergraaf and Ryan Gridley, and then we also have the youngster, Rex Maurer. And Rex, 14 years old, going to be going into high school next year. So you have a junior high against collegiate swimmers and everything in between. Rex got his brother Luke in lane 6, so should be an interesting mix here. But right now it looks like lane 6, it looks like Luke Maurer.
Yep.
Luke Mauer's been having a great year. He was had a phenomenal high school state meet, really a breakout year for him. And this guy's got a lot of talent. So, and he's out there with the leaders, Liam Hutchinson, Luke Maurer, Ryan Gridley, all out together.
Yeah, 26.55, I believe, is the fastest split for Liam Hutchinson.
Right.
And I've watched Liam Hutchinson for about a year now as well. And again, he's one of the bright spots from Illinois swimming.
He definitely is. And so, but here you see Luke now in the middle of the pool. Luke Maurer is starting to pull away.
Yep.
His mother, Lee Lovelace, was an Olympian, gold medalist, American record holder, and his father was an NCAA champion. So there's some pretty good
genes there.
So Luke is 28.6. He's right with him within 400ths of a second of Liam Hutchinson. Two talented swimmers, both guys at that Toronto camp, and so they got a chance to race each other. And I think there's some advantages there and to keep bringing up the camp. But you know, it's just one of the opportunities that Illinois swimming does with to help elevate the swimming in our sport, and to be able to go on a trip like that and spend 5 days with the best swimmers and racing. It was a great experience for them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and you mentioned it earlier just a few minutes ago, it's got to be a great confidence booster for these young athletes as well.
Absolutely.
Getting to go, train internationally with kids all across the country, it's got to be a great thing for them.
Yeah, Liam Hutchinson really got after that third 50 and really went after it. But watch Luke Maurer. He's a racer, and he's coming up alongside. Don't know that he's going to be able to catch Liam Hutchinson, but, the interesting thing about Luke, he's got some he's a tall kid with some long limbs. And I still think he's developing that and really learning his stroke and things like that. I mean, again, this is a kid I believe he's got state records. So, I mean, he's obviously got some serious skills. But, again, that's the talent level in that heat. So we had Liam Hutchinson first, Luke Maurer second, and Ryan Gridley finishing third.
Yep, all those three gentlemen right in the middle of the pool. 152.65 for Mr. Liam Hutchinson out of Wheaton. And I think that will do it for the first portion.
Yeah, we have the awards, and we're going to start with the 800 freestyle awards. Those were swum last night, but because we get done late, instead there's really nobody around, so we award those tonight. Most of those kids are back here anyway, so we'll start with the 800 free awards, and then we'll go through the breaststroke and 2 free awards.
Yep, so a quick awards break, and then we will be right back after that with the 100-meter butterfly.
800 meter freestyle. In 10th place, from Academy Bullets, Michaela Herwig. In 9th place, from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Molly Rosenthal. In 8th place, from Academy Bullets, Lauren Payton. In 7th place, from Academy Bullets, Nina Mullen. In 6th place, from Academy Bullets, Sydney Kelly. In 5th place, from Fox Valley Swim Team, Kristen Stieg. In 4th place, from Nassau Wildcat, Azra Avdik. In 3rd place, from Chicago Wolfpack, Abby Taut. In 2nd place, from Bloomington Normal Waves, Elliot Kennedy. And your champion, with a winning time of 8:51.79 and a new meet record from Fox Valley Swim Team, Rachel Steve. Thank you very much, ladies. Event number 2, the men's 800 meter freestyle. In 10th place, from Academy Bullets, Austin Miller. In 9th place, from Fox Valley Swim Team, Ayush Deshpanda. In 8th place, from NASA, Everett Andrew. In 7th place, from Scout Aquatics, Colin Kingsley. In 6th place, from Nutri Aquatics, Ian Vandergraaf. In 5th place, from Academy Bullets, William Camps. In 4th place, from Nutri Aquatics, Samuel Deinstad. In 3rd place, from Bloomington Normal Swim Club, Tyson Tucci. In 2nd place, from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Nicholas Andrus. And your champion, with a winning time and new meet record, 8:18.21 from Wheaton Swim Club, Liam Hutchinson. Again, top 10 finishers in events 3, 4, 5, and 6. Please report to the awards staging area. Top 10 finishers in events 3, 4, 5, and 6. Please report to the awards staging area. Your top 10 finishers in event number 3, the women's 100 meter breaststroke. In 10th place, from Nassau Wildcat, Annika Wagner. In 9th place, from Academy Bullets, Julia Kroll. In 8th place, from St. Charles Swim Team, Alyssa Brault. In 7th place, from St. Charles, Mary Yania. In 6th place, from Nassau Wildcats, Mary Erb. In 5th place, from West, Anna Gloniak. In 4th place, from Academy Bullets, Madeline Wienig. In 3rd place, from Nassau Wildcat, Casey Ben. In 2nd place, from Alligator Aquatics, Maggie Papanikoulis. And your champion, with a winning time of 1:11.42 and a new meet record from New Trier, Kaylin Gridley. At this time, the competition pool is closed. Attention swimmers. The competition pool is now closed. Your top 10 finishers. And event number 4, the men's 100-meter breaststroke. In 10th place from Hornet Age Group Swim Club, William Gallagher. In 9th place from Lions Aquatics, Michael Flynn. In 8th place from Wheaton Swim Club, Samuel Plessner. In 7th place from Academy Bullets, Jack O'Connor. In 6th place from Bloomington Normal Waves, Thomas Reedy. In 5th place from Hinsdale Swim Club, Tristan Lundgren. In 4th place from Peoria Aerial Water Wizards, Justin Alderson. In 3rd place from Academy Bullets, Michael Rosa. In 2nd place from Dunlap Dolphins, Daniel Matlock. And your champion with a winning time of 106.20 from Glenbrook Swim Club, Max Ida. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Your top 10 finishers in event number 5, the women's 200-meter freestyle. In 10th place from St. Charles, Anne Margaret Tavierne. In 9th place from Delta Aquatics, Corinne Geist. In 8th place from Maverick Swim Club, Callie Frankowiak. In 7th place from Academy Bullets, Allison Penrod. In 6th place, unattached, Callahan Dunn. In 5th place from Nassau Wildcat, Azra Advik. In 4th place from Academy Bullets, Jessica Chiriani. In 3rd place from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Catherine Morris. In 2nd place from Bloomington Normal Waves, Anna Peplowski. And your champion with a new meet record from Nassau Wildcat Aquatics, Carly Noveline. Congratulations, ladies. Thank you very much. The top 10 finishers in event number 6, the men's 200-meter freestyle. In 10th place from NASA, Everett Andrew. In 9th place from NASA, Rex Maurer. In 8th place from Northwest DuPage YMCA, Nicholas Andrus. In 7th place from Glenbrook, Sammy Wasali. In 6th place from Chicago Wolfpack, Matthew Fernandez. In 5th place from Bloomington Normal Swim Club, Tyson Tucci. In 4th place from Nutria Aquatics, Ian Vandercraft. In 3rd place from Nassau Wildcat Aquatics, Ryan Cridley. In 2nd place from Nassau Wildcat Aquatics, Luke Maurer. And your champion with a winning time of 1:52.65 from Wheaton Swim Club, Liam Hutchinson. At this time, all of our women need to report to the ready area. Women butterflyers need to report to the ready area.
Okay, we are back here. 2019 Illinois Swimming Long Course Senior Championships here at the beautiful Recplex located in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. I am Jay Pfeiffer, and we may have Mr. Bill Shaw's in a few moments, but right now I am joined by Mr. Michael Reed. How are you, Michael?
I am doing great. Like you said, it's a beautiful day, pretty hot. I'm burning up.
well, we're a little warm, but I guarantee you the action is definitely hot down here at the Recplex. We are going to get right into it. We just had our awards ceremony. We are moving quickly, and this is event number 7 now. It will be the women's 100-meter butterfly. This is a sprint distance. This is the C final. We do the C final, the B final, and then the A final. So I will give you those lane assignments. Again, set the scene for you if you're watching at home and across the country and also across the world on YouTube/Illinois Swimming. Lane 1 will be at the bottom of your screen going to lane 10 at the top, and we will start there with lane 1, Miss Jillian Wilson. Lane 2, Athena Salafatinos. In lane 3, we'll have Miss Emma Zhang. In lane 4, Alexis Wendell. In lane 5, Abigail Smith. In lane 6, Olivia Assay. In lane 7, Isabella Pytel. In lane 8, Audrey Richardson. In lane 9, Julia Krall. And in lane 10, Miss Callie Frankowiak. In the water they go again, event number 7, C final heat number 1. This is the 100-meter butterfly, and Michael, we were talking about this with Bill earlier.
Okay.
These are the sprint distances, so just one trip down and back for these athletes, so no wasted energy. They're going to leave it all out in the pool.
Right, so I just joined, and I want to know, have you guys explained what the long course was and why this is all okay? And then I also want to know myself, I personally don't know, what's the difference between C, B, and A finals?
So the C final, the B final, and the A final is basically the seed time from preliminary action earlier in the day. They take those times, they calculate the fastest ones, and it's basically 3 different groupings, and their times will either count for future meets or possibly some state records here at the swimming championships as they are approaching the flags. That is lane 3, Emma Zhang from Cats Aquatic. Looks like she may get their first 100-meter butterfly for the women. She will. Miss Emma Zhang, lane 3 with a 1:04.11 time. 33.90 on that last split.
Wow.
So congratulations, Miss Emma Zhang. As we move on now to the B final, and Michael will give you those lane assignments, starting with lane 1.
Yes, I will. On lane 1 is Leslie Wendell. Lane 2 is Kira Tiv. Lane 3 is Sierra Limbu. Lane 4 is Anna Groveberger. Lane 5 is Azra Avdik. Lane 6 is Athena Yee. Lane 7 is Greta Pelzik. Lane 8 is Emma Pritchett. Lane 9 is Annalise Stengel. And lane 10 is Lauren Payton.
And we talked a little bit about throughout the week how, some of these swimmers are at different stages of their training. Athena Yee is in the B final here. She was the high school state champion in the fall. So again, she's resting up a little bit later, and before she heads one more championship meet before she heads off to Harvard.
Okay.
So we'll see some different levels of swimming and different levels of tapering at this point of the season. So Athena's got some good speed, so I would expect her to get out early.
And they're off. And as of right now,
that is Athena Yee in the middle of the pool. She is in lane number 6. All the girls in lanes 2 and 3. We see Lakira Tiv and Sierra Limbu also getting out there with her. But Athena right now looks like she's got about a half a body length lead on the field. See how she hits the turn. Now again, we talked about this in the breaststroke, but it's really important to hit that turn on a full stroke. And then when you take that turn, try to be as compact as possible so you can get off the wall. And then the interesting thing about butterfly too is the dolphin kicking. We saw some of that in the freestyle, but the dolphin kicking off the wall, it's faster than swimming, so it is the 5th stroke now, and it's important to be good dolphin kickers in this sport. Athena Yee still in the lead, and then also lane 4, that's Anna Gruberger, both girls from Academy Bullets, looking 1-2. But we're starting to see Azra Abdik in the middle of the pool starting to move up a little bit too. But here's Anna Gruberger, and then as we talked about,
Yes.
Azra was coming up. Athena Yee got a little bit tight there at the end. She was out real quick. And again, that's partly, not being fully rested at this point, and then Greta Pelzik from New Trier.
Do you think some of the swimmers are still tired from this morning for prelims?
Not so much that, because they've had plenty of rest during the day. Some kids have to work harder to get into finals than others. But what it is that when you rest, and resting means that you're spending a couple of weeks just doing race stuff. You're not doing any heavy yardage. You're letting the body recover a little bit. You're going to have a lot more pop at the end of your race than those that aren't rested and aren't tapered. So that's going to have a bigger factor than being tired from the morning. Now, Sunday night, it's a little different animal. You've been racing for 3 full days, so the fatigue can build up over time. But I think that's only the first day. I mean, most of these kids didn't swim last night, so this is really their first day of the meet. But the bigger factor is where they are in their taper.
Okay. Now, I have a question.
Yes.
I am burning up right now.
I'm sorry?
I am burning up right now.
Oh, yeah, it's warm
currently.
up here.
Does that affect the swimmers down there? I'm just a talker.
It's interesting. I mean, we're wearing shorts and polos and stuff, so we're respirating. But we're also, the two of us, we're at the highest point in the building. The heat's rising up on us. Down on deck, it's a little bit cooler. But, these kids can jump into the pool. They can warm up, warm down, and stay cool that way. They're wearing suits and stuff. You don't see a lot of kids running around. Most of them are just wearing a T-shirt at that, and
Right.
you're not seeing them running around. So not really. And just for the fact you can get into 80-degree water, helps cool them off and keep that too.
Fair point.
But there are some hot, humid pools, and it'll suck the energy right out of you.
I was just thinking that. I'm like, if I think this is hot, it has to be hotter.
Right, exactly. This is our championship final. Julia Hempstead is the number 1 seed coming in tonight. And right now, Carly Noveline, who we saw earlier in the 200 free, she won the 200 free. She's at the top of your screen in lane 9. She's really being aggressive getting after this first 50.
Right.
It looks like she is going to touch the wall first. But then again, what do I know? It was actually a Julia Hempstead with a 28.6, touches just ahead of her. So I'm going to keep using the excuse that we're in the middle of the pool and they're at the ends. We have bad angles, but might want to check my prescription too.
I'm like, I don't think that's an excuse. That's a reason.
Exactly. But right now, Julia Hempstead is really dominating this field. She looks really good. What you want to look for in butterflies, you can really tell when a butterfly gets tired because their rear end stops coming up out of the water. You want to see that body. They're throwing the hands out, getting some good length. The drive of the kick is going to drive their rear ends up, and so that's a good sign of where they're at in their conditioning in the race.
I never knew that because as a casual just fan of watching that, I'm always like, it always seems the person ahead, they lose it. I'm like, I wonder why.
Right.
If you're a casual fan, you don't notice that.
Yeah, it's very common that, here you have someone like Julia Hempstead who's just so talented, and she's our state champion today. And Julia, was first one out, was aggressive going out. And then, she's from Bloomington Normal. They're known for their distance training, so she should have some good endurance coming home.
Right.
And some swimmers like that, they're just going to take. Michael Phelps could take it, and take the lead early and can maintain it.
Okay.
But you have to be careful that you don't go too aggressively at the beginning of the race, because if you go out and get out too fast, lactic acid builds super fast, and then you'll really see not only the hips drop, see the shoulders get up and what we call going vertical. And that's not a good place to be for a butterflyer, because that makes that last 10, 15, 20 yards pretty difficult.
Yeah, pretty brutal, it seems like. And now
We're starting with the men's C
yes,
final.
the men.
So, and again, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of 15 and 16-year-olds in this heat. So these are our younger guys. These are the guys that we're going to look to in a couple of years to be swimming in the A final. Some great experience. The C finalists, the first final, does not score. It's all about giving these kids some championship finalists, getting them experience of swimming at night and giving them the opportunity to race again. You'll see a lot of these kids in this first heat will go times fast enough that would have gotten them into the A or the B final. And that's okay, because they get excited and they get an opportunity to do that. So, but that's important. That's why racing in the morning is important, to get this opportunity.
Exactly.
So, and right now we're looking at lanes 4 and 6. Lane 6 is Michael Rosa from Academy Bullets, and Lachlan Andrew from Wild in lane 4. They're the two leaders. In lane 5, we see Craig McIntyre starting to pull up. He's from Sheridan. So it's anybody's race. Even in lane 10 right now, we see Kyle Bergman from West Swim Club pulling up. So, but it's and down in lane 1, and again, so I'm going to give you an excuse. I just missed it. Foster Swanson had a great second 50 though, and ended up pulling out the win.
And we're going to a Heat B.
Yes, the B final.
All right, so and say these lanes. Lane 1, Tristan Stevens. Lane 2, Robert Peterson. Lane 3, Nicholas Andres. Lane 4, Patrick Gridley. Lane 5, Seth Miller. Lane 6, Daniel Matlock. Lane 7, Matthew Gibson. Lane 8, William Raid. Lane 9, William Boyley. And lane 10, Ben Castro.
And again, we've talked about the Toronto camp and some of the top swimmers in the state swimming, and you know, where a swimmer might be the #1 swimmer in one event, but here they're swimming in the B final, and we see that tonight. We have Will Wright and Will Boley in lanes 8 and 9. They were both in that camp. So was Nick Andrews from lane 3.
So what we have for B final right now?
Again, we're looking for the middle of the pool, and again, we're kind of, it'll be a little bit of a broken record. So, you know, it's kind of hard to tell because we don't know where they are. You go to U.S. National Olympic Trials, everybody's tapered for that meet,
right.
So you pretty know what to expect. So right now, looking like lanes 1 and 5, and that's Tristan Stevens, lane 1 at the bottom of your screen, and then in lane 5, that's Seth Miller from CWAC Chicago Wolfpack, both from Chicago Wolfpack out to the early lead. And again, it is it's Seth Miller. He's out in 26.6 first 50. Great underwater dolphin work. Comes out with, opens up his lead a little bit. Also in lane 4 with some nice work with the dolphin kicks is Patrick Ridley from Wild. So it looks like those two are the guys. But in lane 1, 2, still hanging in there is Tristan Stevens. But he looks like he's starting to fade a little bit. He's got his hips up, but we'll see how he finishes. Coming up on the outside in lane 6 is Daniel Matlock with the green cap, and he's got a strong finish. He ends up second place.
Wow.
Seth Miller holds on for the win, but
Okay.
Patrick Miller with a 30.4. He had the fastest second 50 and was closing hard to win that heat.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Now, as of right now,
So we're going to switch it over to the announcer for the parade for the championship finals.
In lane 4 from West Chicago, Garrett Clayson. In lane 5 from West, Jeffrey Vitek. In lane 6 from Academy Bullets, Nolan Fergus. In lane 7 from Maverick, Bradley Sanford. In lane 8 from NASA, Ezra Miskala. In lane 9 from St. Charles, Alexei Filipovic. And in lane 10 from NASA, John Thorne.
You know, again, we talked about Toronto, so it's an interesting situation here. We had 2 swimmers tie with the fastest qualifying time coming out of the morning. That's Nolan Fergus and Jeffrey Vitek. They're in lanes 5 and 6. It's kind of a coin toss who gets the fastest, what would traditionally be the fastest lane. Lane 3, Garrett Clausen is, I'm sorry, nope, I believe he's scratched out of the seat. So, oh no, he's there.
No,
lane 4, Garrett Clausen. So again, we've got Nolan, we've got Garrett, we've got all these guys that swam in that camp. Andrew Dye. So all these different guys that swam in the camp. So there's some really good speed here, and it looks like it's Jeffrey Vitek out with the early lead, and but also in lane 4 is Garrett Clausen, and Garrett Clausen really showed a lot of. Just every day came and put a lot of pressure on all the other guys in the camp, and he really was tough in that camp. We see Nolan Fergus now coming up too, and it's going to be a really tight race. This is going to be who gets their hand on the wall first. And you know, it may sound stupid that's what we're saying, but it really is. That's what the key is. Nolan Fergus from Academy Bullets is our new state champion.
Nolan has it.
Touches out Jeffrey Vitek, but this is when both of your hands are moving simultaneously. You could get stuck with your hands all the way at the back of the stroke down by your hips, and then you got to bring them around quick.
Right.
Where the other swimmer, his hands might be just just a quarter of a stroke farther ahead of you, and then gets his hand on the wall first. So Nolan, good timing, getting his hand on the finish, getting his hand on the wall first. He had the fastest split coming home. He and Garrett Klassen both 30.0. I'm sorry, Andrew Dye was 29.8 too. So all three of those guys closing fast, and but it was Nolan's first 50 that got him into the position. So that with the speed of the second half, so because he was in like fourth place, but it's kind of important with the butterfly. It's a taxing stroke to get out, to build your speed, control your speed on the front half, so you have that speed on the second half.
Now for here, we're going to.
Now we're going to slam on the brakes for the 400 IM. So the 400 IM, 400 individual medley. Each swimmer is going to swim 2 lengths of the pool, and then there's a 50-meter pool. So they're going to swim 100 meters of butterfly, 100 meters of backstroke, 100 meters of breaststroke, and 100 meters of freestyle. And what's interesting about this, too, is you may have swimmers in the heat. You may have a really good backstroke or a really good butterflyer gets out in the lead early, and they just not good breaststrokers, so they're really struggling. You get breaststrokers that may be horrible butterflyers at backstroke, and they're just waiting for the breaststroke so they can go tee it up on these other swimmers.
Right.
So you'll see it's not uncommon to see some pretty big lead changes and swings in this event. But, typically when you get down to the, by the time the breaststroke is done, the heat's kind of evened out a little bit, unless you have a great freestyler in there that's going to come from behind. But so it's really tough to say early in the race if somebody's in the race or out of the race because of the, you just could be a great breaststroke or a great distance freestyle and be able to hang on. So the key to this race to be successful in this event is to really be, if you can be great in 4 strokes, but if you're great in 3 and really strong in the 4-stroke, that's typically what you see in IM.
So you're as strong as your weakest link.
Absolutely, yeah, it really is in many ways, yeah, absolutely. And we've seen some really great butterflyers, backstrokers, freestylers, but they can't do IM because they just aren't breaststrokers. So,
right. I was just that was gonna be my next question. Right. What type of swimmer usually thrives in this?
It is a lot of typically you see a lot of breaststrokers. Okay. But because breaststroke, because it's in the second half of the race, and we talked earlier about the 200 free, the third 50 is the key to the race. The third quarter of the race is the key. Well, in IM, that's breaststroke, because that's where you finished half the race, and now you got to swim that third quarter of the race again. And so there's a mental issue there too. And if you're not a good breaststroker and then you don't have the confidence of the breaststroke, that can tear down your confidence of actually swimming the whole second half. And also kids who are not strong in breaststroke tend to overswim the fly in the back because they want to get a biggest lead as possible. So they end up, just getting out way too hard, and then they don't have the energy in the back half either. So a lot of factors to it. But if you're a smart swimmer, you can control your fly back and free and survive the breaststroke and not get run out and let those breaststrokers get a huge lead on you, then then you can be successful also. But a lot of times you'll see many top IMers were breaststrokers. Now that being said, Michael Phelps, one of the greatest IMers, was a butterfly or backstroker, but he spent a lot of time working on his breaststroke and did a lot of squats, and came to nationals. What year he broke the world record for the first time, and his legs looked like a lineman's legs.
Like he's a legend.
Yeah, exactly.
So he'll be an exception to the rule.
For sure.
There they go.
So we have Madison Supple in lane 1, Sarah Joss from Academy Bullets in lane 2, Sarah Madison in lane 1 is from St. Charles. We have Caroline Zimner in lane 3 from Wheaton, Jane Denenberg, lane 4 from B.R. Ryle, Hannah Mullen, lane 5 from Academy Bullets, her teammate Ashley Segal in lane 6, also from Academy Bullets, Casey Friss from Delta in lane 7, Tessa Jones, lane 8 from Woodstock, and then a pair of 2 more Academy Bullet swimmers, Paige Edmeyer in lane 9 and Jillian Wilson in lane 10. So Jillian Wilson didn't know she made the final in this event, ended up making the final, and so kind of an unusual way to get in here tonight, so get scratched in. So now we'll see how it goes. So now we're looking, try to kind of pick out the butterflyers, and right now we see Caroline Zimner from Wheaton in lane 3, and also in lane 5, Hannah Mullen from Academy Bullets. And look out in lane 10, Jillian Wilson. She actually finaled in the butterfly earlier tonight too, so not surprised to see her out early on. And Jillian Wilson just had a huge look to the left. When you're swimming butterfly, you want to keep your eyes forward.
Yeah.
She took a peek down the left side of the lane. That can cost you some time. Sometimes didn't seem to affect her that badly, but she's out in a 110. There's a couple 111s, but she's got a little bit of a lead now. Now for backstroke, what we're looking for is good hand speed. You want to see good tempo on the backstroke. It's very, very important. It's important that your feet stay up on the surface also. If you can do those 2 things, That's a big part of backstroke, and right now we're seeing Hannah Mullen put together a nice backstroke leg, as well as lane 6, Ashley Seago. I'm sorry, that's, yeah.
Correct.
1, 2, 3, 4. Also lane 4, Jane Denenberg from BRL. So, okay. So now they come into the turn on backstroke. You can roll onto your stomach as you go into the turn. You get one arm pulled to take that, to get in, come in out of that wall. That happened several years, maybe a couple, many years ago, as backstrokers would have to touch the wall with their hand, but they got so good and fast at it that you couldn't tell if you were touching the hands. So Hannah said, you know what, forget about it. We can't call it anyway. So Hannah Mullen is starting to open up a little bit of a lead, but we got to keep an eye out for this, because there are some breaststrokers in this field, and notably lane 2, Sarah Joss is right now, and she's in 10th place, but she is a very strong breaststroker, so we'll keep an eye on her on the back half.
Now, what makes a good breaststroker?
I don't know. They're odd ducks. No, I'm kidding. I couldn't swim breaststroke, so that's a personal opinion. No, you know what? Breaststroke. So. When you think about backstroke and freestyle, the swimmers are rotating along the long axis of the body, along their spine. They're rotating side to side. In butterfly and breaststroke, they're hinging, the axis is at the hip, so that's called a short axis stroke. And there are swimmers that struggle with the timing of breaststroke. So for breaststroke, you want to be able to reach and go wide. You're recovering with the hands underwater, so you have to be streamlined on that. But the biggest thing with breaststroke is the kick. It's the quote-unquote frog kick. In butterfly backstroke and freestyle, you're kicking with the tops of your feet more. In breaststroke, you're kicking with the bottom of the foot, and it's supposed to pointing your toes versus flexing your feet. And so, it is a different animal. And it's funny because some kids who are breaststrokers can't get a good rhythm in backstroke, and backstrokers and freestylers can't get a good rhythm in breaststroke. So a lot of it is it's a weak stroke, and kids aren't being aggressive enough. And so we talked a little bit earlier about watching out for these breaststrokers. And here we see lane 6. Ashley Seago is a strong breaststroker. Hannah Mullen had a nice lead, and right now Hannah Mullen, if you just watch the two leaders, you see Kelly Seago just a little bit faster tempo. You see Hannah Mullen dipping down underwater every stroke and getting really deep in the water. So that's a lot more resistance. And and Hannah Mullen is still in second place in this race, doing a great job. So. But that's kind of the difference that you see there. And look at Sarah Joss in lane 2. We talked about her earlier. She has moved into 3rd place. She went from 10th to 3rd in 100 yards, so you never know. And she's a freestyler. So now we'll see what happens here at the end of the race. Hannah Mullen's also a very good freestyler too. And these are all 3 Academy Bullet girls. I've seen them train every day, so I know them. So, but also watch in lane 7. Lane 8. Tessa Jones from Woodstock. She's got a really big kick going right now, and she's got a nice tempo, so she's starting to reel those girls in too. So, it's just, again, see those big lead changes and things like that.
Right.
Do you think Ashley Seago's going to hold on to the win here? But Hannah Mullen just had a really nice turn. It's coming up on her, and but I do believe, I don't think anybody's going to catch her at this point. So Ashley Seago doing a nice job. When you watch, look at lane 2 and look at lane 8, you see the big kicks from Sarah and from Tessa Jones. And you look at Ashley Seago, even though she's got the lead and she's in control, she's got a good tempo and stroke, a little bit smaller kick, and that's why those girls were able to run up on her. So, but I think, she did a great job on the race building the lead, and she's going to touch first with a 5:13.9.
She kept them away, and that's all she needed. Currently, I'm going to read a sponsor.
Oh, perfect.
Elsmore is the official supplier / sponsor of Illinois Swimming and Team Illinois.
So Team Illinois will be going to the zone meet, and I don't know where the zone meet is this year. It might be actually, it's actually up here, I believe.
Okay, cool.
So we have the zone meet. We're going to be coming back up here. The zone meet is multiple states, probably Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, maybe Iowa, some teams like that. There's probably about 5 or 6 teams in the central zone. And we have 2 zone meets because our zone is so large. And so it's the top swimmers in the state and around the state. They're going to come and swim as Team Illinois, and Elsmore Aquatics will be our team outfitter. And so we'll have Team Illinois gear, those kinds of things, and they offer discounts. So you see these swimmers with these suits that come down to just above their knee. These are tight-fitting suits. They're tech suits, and so they have a low drag coefficient, less drag than skin even. And so, Elsmore can, these are expensive suits, and Elsmore can offer those at a discount to these athletes as part of their sponsorship.
I love how they look.
So we have in lane 1 from West Chicago Sharks, Amber Finke. Lane 2 from Delta is Colleen O'Connor. Lane 3 from New Trier, Greta Pelzik. Lane 4 from Glenbrook's Swim Club is Maria Pritchett. And lane 5 from Palatine, Sophia Kuhn. Lane 6 from Mavs, that's Athena Salafatinos. Can't believe I got that right. Lane 7, Cyril Limbu from Academy, and next to her, Kaylee Lovell from Academy Bullets. Lane 8, we saw her sister swim the 200 free earlier today. Bloomington Normal, lane 9, that's Brianna Bergman. And then lane 10, Madeline Field from BR Ryle YMCA. So right off the bat, we're looking at lanes 2 and 3, Colleen O'Connor and Greta Pelzik with the early butterfly leads, and we'll see how that goes. But lane 5, our number 1 seed, Sophia Kuhn from Palatine, is starting to pull back too. So, is it
And right now we have lane 3, Greta Pelska. She's in the lead right now.
Yeah, so right now it looks like 2 and 5. Sophia Kuhn, Greta was right there too. But obviously, as we start to watch the backstrokers, we're seeing Sophia Kuhn start to pull away. And again, you're looking for swimmers that are tall in the water, their feet are on top of the water, and they've got good hand speed. Those are the swimmers that are most likely to start pulling up. We look at the top of your screen, lane 9, Brianna Bergman. She's got a nice tempo, a good steady kick, and she's starting to move her way up through the field also.
Right.
Be interested to see. She's like about 5th place right now. We'll see where she is at the end of the backstroke. So, but right now it's Sophia Kuhn and building a lead. And lane 2 is Colleen O'Connor. She's from Delta, out of the Oswego area. And so those two are in the lead. We'll see if they are breaststrokers or not.
Now, I have another question.
Okay.
You see my height. I'm wondering, does height matter in swimming?
It does.
Okay.
But not as much as hurt. I mean, that's true. I mean, one of our great Olympians was Eric Vent, and he's 5 foot whatever, and not the biggest guy, but man, he was a guy that would anybody you talk to that trained with Eric would talk about how he punished you every day in practice. He just wouldn't get beat in practice. And Phelps, when he beat him to break the world record, actually revolutionized our sport because he dolphin kicked 15 meters underwater at the end on the freestyle leg, and nobody had ever done that before because it's too hard.
Right.
And that's how Phelps ended up beating him, because Vent was just tough, and so Phelps had to figure out a way to be tougher. And right now we saw Sophia Kuhn with the lead, and now she is really opening up that lead huge. So clearly a breaststroker, and we see Colleen O'Connor also moving up on the breaststroke. Watch lanes 9 and 10, Brianna Bergman and Madeline Field. They're also starting to come along too. Lane 4, it's really a tight field for this late in the race. We have a couple swimmers dropping off, but Maria Pritchett, from Glenbrook is starting to come along too. So, but really, Sophia Kuhn, 45.9. She's the only swimmer, her and Colleen O'Connell, the only 240. Well, I take that back. I'm sorry. There's a couple 45s in that heat. But they're definitely, right now we're seeing Sophia Kuhn just pull away from the field. And this could be a similar situation with athlete that whether or not, I don't know if Sophia, how strong her freestyle is, but even if she doesn't have the strongest freestyle, you build a big lead like that, you've got some room for error.
Okay. So I'm starting to see a little strategy. Your best, just try to dominate that as best as you can, get as far as the lead as possible.
But here's the problem with breast to freestyle. So if you get a big lead in breaststroke, those girls are still swimming breaststroke. You're swimming freestyle. Freestyle's a faster stroke.
Right.
So now if you're a great freestyler, but you're so far behind, you're still swimming the slowest stroke while they're swimming the fastest stroke. You're losing too much time. Look at how much her lead picked up, on these girls here in the kind of on the back half of the pool, because they were still swimming breaststroke when she was swimming free.
Right.
So it's a huge advantage. Really, really important to get to that wall with as a breaststroker, getting into that wall quickly, and so you can get onto the freestyle leg. And right now it's Sophia Kuhn, 36.1. Again, looks like right at the fastest split. The girls in lanes 9 and 10 are splitting even with her, but she's got too much of a lead. She's got a 2-second lead, and a 2.5-second lead. I just don't think they're to catch her. Watch Colleen O'Connor in lane 2 from Delta. It's probably got the best shot. I just don't think they're going to catch her. Lane 9, Brianna Bergman's got a great last 50 going here. So Brianna's trying to make me eat my words on this. So,
Well, you know it's the angle. The angle can trick you sometimes.
Yeah.
I think she has it.
I think she has it too. So Sophia Kuhn wins the race, so I don't look like an idiot. We're happy about that. But look at that last flip for Brianna Bergen. So it's over a second faster than the field, her and Greta Pelsick. And so they just, but again, you have to be in a position to win that race. Sarah Limbo 33-0, but again, just too far back. All right, we have the championship final of this heat, this event. These are our top 10, so we'll turn it over to the announcer.
Leave, brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. I ain't coming back. I'm talking pedicure on our toes, trying on all our clothes.
Lane 2 from NASA, Emma Ruby. In lane 3 from Academy, Sydney Kelly. In lane 4 from NASA, Annika Wagner. In lane 5 from NASA, Electra Lebel. In lane 6 from Academy, Nina Mullen. In lane 7 from YWCA Flying Fish, Cleo Hancock. In 8 from Academy, Katie O'Connell. In lane 9 from Academy, Allison Penrod. And in lane 10 from Academy, Samantha Rankin.
And welcome back. This is Heat A going on right now. And we have LaBelle in the lead.
Again, men in the 400-meter individual medley, please check in. Our
So
A
lane
finalists
5,
need to check in.
we've got
Near the
Electra
rainbow.
Liebel
Our
from
B
Wild.
finalists need to check in as well.
She's taking the early
Please,
lead, got
men
a
in
really
the
nice
400-meter
butterfly
individual
stroke,
medley, get down here
nice
behind
and
the
long,
blocks
good
and check
tempo.
in.
Looks like a lot of easy speed. She's got Nina Mullen in lane 6 right next to her, right behind her. And then in lane 4, Annika Wagner. Annika was another one of our Toronto campers.
B finalists and A finalists in the men's 400-meter individual medley, please check in.
And again, Nina Mullen touches second. She's 15 years old. She's one of the youngest. Her and Katie O'Connell are two of the youngest in the field. Electra Liebel is a collegiate swimmer, 20 years old. So she's the experienced one. And again, you watch Electra, nice tempo on the backstroke, good, nice. Her hands aren't the fastest, but she's grabbing a lot of water right now.
Right.
And watch her legs. They're on the top of the surface, but she's not kicking super hard. That's going to give her legs more energy on the back half of the race, which is going to be important.
Now, I have heard you mention a Canada camp.
Yes.
Now, explain that to the viewers.
Okay,
about
so
that.
we, Illinois Swimming, every year we will take a group, we try to get our top swimmers together for a camp. And this year we decided for the first time ever to go international. Because the Olympics are coming up, it's very difficult. The U.S. Olympic Training Center is always available,
Right.
but because heading into Olympic year, if you're an Olympian or if you're a world-ranked swimmer, then your team is going to have priority. So we decided to go to to Toronto Pan Am Center and University of Toronto and train. And so it was a great experience for the kids as we see Electra touching the wall first at 2:21.1. And she's got about a 4-second lead over Annika Wagner, Nina Mullen, and Cleo Hancock. So the point of the camp is to get our top swimmers together and to get them training together. You know, here you're here with your team. It's a state meet. But when you go to nationals, chances are you're by yourself or one other teammate.
Right.
You get a little lonely. Well, now by having all these campers together and they get to know each other, now they go to nationals. They can hang out together. They can sit together. The kids aren't just sitting there, coaches getting bored out of their minds at a big meet. So you get that camaraderie.
Makes them relax.
Also, by
too.
training together, you know, it's a high level of training with the camp because it's all the best swimmers, and they can, you know, they'll get out of their comfort zone a little bit. Also, you may be a swimmer that you've been racing your whole life and you've never beaten, and all of a sudden you get in this camp and you realize, you know, I'm pretty good too.
Right.
So, you know, there's some confidence there too. So, and we've seen that kids that were racing in the camp come back a couple weeks later. About 2 weeks ago, we had two of our swimmers raced each other, and they both had significant time drops and both qualified for the Olympic trials. So, and again, here we see Electra Label just, you know, just dominating this entire field. And her teammate, Annika Wagner, one of Illinois' top swimmers. Nina Mullen, lane 6, and also in lane 7 is Cleo Hancock from the YWCA Flying Fish. So we got 100 meters to go, but I don't think anybody's going to catch Electra with her 3, 4, 5 second lead, 6 second lead. So yeah, I think she's pretty much dominating this field. And you can tell right now, she is not killing herself right now. She's got a good steady kick, good tempo. She's probably going to be somewhere in 450-ish range, 455, something like that. So we'll see where she finishes up.
Right.
But so probably just off a trial cut, I would imagine. I don't think she'll be quite under it, but maybe about 5-6 seconds off. So, but we'll see. She turns 34-20. So it looks like she's going to go about a 455, and the trial cut's a 451. The battle here is, it's kind of spread out here. We see again. Lane 4, Annika Wagner, really strong IMer in her own right. Lane 6, the youngster Nina Mullen out there in lane 6. Look at the tempo on Nina, good hand speed. So watch them come into the finish here. .453. Nice back half there was 32, a little bit faster in her first 50 freestyle. Annika Wagner, as we talked about, 457. Nina Mullen, 501. Some really fast swims here.
Yeah. This is so exciting, just watching this.
A lot of these kids, too, where there's the National Club Swimming Association has their championships in July. A really fast meet at the Indianapolis Natatorium. So we'll see a lot of these kids heading out there, too. So now we have the C final for the guys. Lane 1, Jack DeMarco from Delta. Lane 2, Joseph Dienstag from New Trier Aquatics. Remember, lane 1 is at the bottom of your screen. Alexander Michael from New Trier Aquatics is lane 3. Benjamin Guerrero, lane 4, Academy Bullets. Lane 5, Liam Davis from Maverick Swim Club. Jackson Oostman, 15-year-old from Delta Aquatics. Tyson Tucci, also another 15-year-old from Bloomington Normal. Thomas Doubleday from Glenbrook. He's in lane 8. Alexa Zobkiv from Scout Aquatics, and Carson Faley, he's from Sterling Stingrays in lane number 10. And again, we're seeing a lot of 15, 16, a lot of 15-year-olds in this heat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 15-year-olds, and a couple 16-year-olds. So these are guys that we would expect to see in the A final in about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So, so some of these guys, a lot of these 15-year-olds are freshmen in high school and probably about 6-8 inches shorter than the guys in the A final, and probably about 80 pounds lighter. So,
yeah, you can definitely tell the difference.
We have a little bit of a delay here. I'm not sure what the problem is, but I'm sure the officials will get it sorted out. See our referee and starter coming over now. So,
well, if there's a delay, I'll read another sponsorship. Speedo. Speedo is an official sponsor of the Illinois Swimming LSC and all championship meets.
So the Illinois LSC, that stands for Local Swimming Committee. Most LSCs are made up of states, but Illinois, like some of our like downstate all the way down into Carbondale and stuff. They actually compete more with Missouri Valley and the St. Louis metro area down there, Edwardsville, those kinds of schools.
Right.
So that's why they call it LSC. Indiana swimming, I think virtually the entire state. California and Texas each have like their states divided up into 4 or 5 LSCs. So a little bit of variance, and a lot of the LSCs kind of are they're either state-oriented or metro-oriented. So 80% of the Illinois LSC is from the Chicagoland area, so as you might imagine.
Right,
So,
makes sense.
so right off the bat, we have Jackson Usman, 31-1. Jackson swims for Delta Aquatics. Jackson was on my high school team this year, so I coached Jackson in the high school months, and then he goes and swims for Daryl Lubner at Oswego.
Nice.
Daryl was one of my first swimmers to go to a national, to compete at, was my very first swimmer to compete at junior national, so
Congrats.
it's kind of fun to be able to, first have him swim for me, and now we're sharing athletes and things like that, so
Right.
it's a lot of fun. Liam Davis, I take that back. I'm sorry, tell a great story. And Liam Davis is actually the swimmer from Maverick Swim Club, coached by Mark. So anyway, he got the big lead, and now you watch his backstory. He's got some nice tempo, but watch lane 6. That is Jackson Newsom, but we talked about. Jackson's really a breaststroker, so he's setting himself up well in this race, and we'll see what happens. Lane 2, some Joseph Dunstag we've got some really good tempo on his backstroke right now too, so we're starting to see that, and we saw that big lead in lane 5, so Liam Davis, and so now we're starting to see the backstrokers start to come up on him, and so it'll be interesting to watch the rest of this race and see where the breaststrokers come from.
Okay. And right now it's looking really close.
It is. We're seeing, we have Jackson Usman, and you watch, he's just got the fastest hand speed right now. Doesn't have the prettiest kick, and is not the prettiest backstroker. He's really a breaststroker, but he's just being aggressive right now with good hand speed, and that's why he's taken over this heat. So and he is a strong breaststroker, so it'll be interesting how fast some of the other breaststrokers are in the field, and if they're able to come back on him. You watch some of these kids, again, not taking that extra stroke. You start getting a little bit tired. You don't take the extra stroke, so you end up gliding a little bit, losing a little bit more time. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting there. But you watch Jackson. He's got a nice long glide. You want to try to conserve a little bit of energy. Personally, I'd like to see him maybe pick up the tempo a little bit, but actually he's doing well. Right at the end of that, when the feet finish, we want to get the hands going into the next stroke. But he's got a nice job. He's maintaining his lead. I don't know if he's pulling away quite or not, but maybe a little bit. So we'll see if a lot of times we see swimmers, we want them to build the entire 100. So we want them to build the 100 backstroke. We want them to build the 100 breaststroke. We don't want them to go out super, super fast at first 50 and then die on the second 50.
Right.
We want them to build their speed. So we'll see if the tempo of these swimmers start to pick up a little bit. So big underwater pull in lane number 5. That's Liam Davis. So he had a huge underwater pull. And that's the underwater portion. You're allowed one underwater pull, one underwater kick. But we see Jackson Usman just maintaining his lead right now. And I've been talking about Jackson Usman the whole time, and it's Tyson Tucci. So I just need to learn to count to 10. That's all my problem.
Hey,
so I
okay.
apologize to Tyson Tucci. He's got a great swim going, and I've been talking about Jackson Usman. So Tyson Tucci maintaining his lead here, 342.6, 42.8 on that 50. He had the second fastest split. Ben Guerrero was the fastest split that 50 in lane number 4. But again, Tyson Tucci with a huge lead right now, doing a great job, and there's no evidence that any of these guys are going to be able to come anywhere near catching him.
That's a huge lead.
Yep. So now the race is really for second, and right now in second place is Liam Davis, and next to him is Ben Guerrero, Academy Bullets. So Ben Davis, as mentioned, from Mavs. But this race is all about Bloomington Normal's Tyson Tucci. He's just dominating this field. So 4:57 this morning. He's going to be well under that time. It'll be interesting if he can hang on and go under a 4:50. I think he will go under 4 minutes and 50 seconds. That time of 4:50 would have put him into the A final tonight. So, yeah, he's going to go a 4:47, 4:45, 4:44.91. So yeah, it's a big swim. That would have put him like third, fourth tonight. So yeah, so. Great swim there. Again, different swimmers have different experiences. You never know what happened. He might have lost his goggles. Could have been any of a dozen things. But
Fortunately, he was able to get a lane tonight because we have this C final and and able to get that second swim and put on a big time.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder what happened to him earlier today.
Could be a lot of things. Some coaches don't want their swimmers wearing their championship suit, their tech suits in the morning. So I have no idea. I didn't watch it. I didn't see the race this morning, the 400 IM. So could be a lot of different things. So my guess is he did wear a tech suit. My guess is, you know, again, in the morning, it's the end of the morning session. Might have had a couple races. You know, whatever. Could have, you know, who knows what could have happened. So.
But now we're going to be right here. We have Dane Pfeifferling in lane 1. Lane 2, we have Preston Waldowski. Lane 3, we have William Herwig.
Herwig, yep.
Thank you. Lane 4, we have Foster Swanson. Lane 5, we have Vince
Chapetta.
Thank you.
His mom swam. His mom was one of my first.
Okay.
Swam for me too. So.
Lane 6, we have Cal Folkstrom. Lane 7, we have Cameron Harris. Lane 8, we have Kale
Yep.
McLaren. Lane 9, we have William Gallagher. And lane 10, we have Benjamin Kimmel.
Yep.
And they're about to start. I just finished in time.
Perfect.
Huzzah. I love that silence before.
You know, each lane has a speaker under it so they can hear the start pretty well, but it is important that you don't have you know, any loud noises or shouts or claps right before the start that the swimmers could react to. So again, you know, we've talked about this all night. You know, we've got, you know, this whole field here. We see Ben Kimmel is a butterflyer. He's on the top of your screen in lane 10. So it's not surprising to see Ben Kimmel out with an early lead.
Right.
And I would expect to see Ben Kimmel have some strong dolphin kicks too. And see if he can maintain the lead. Will Gallagher's right next to him also. But well, we saw a great turn there in lane number 4. And that's Foster Swanson from Glenbrook. He had a huge turn there. And right with him, lane 5 was Vince Chapetta. Lane 1, Dane Pfeifferling also. But right now, lane 4 with a great second 50 is Foster Swanson. Swims for Glenbrook. Ben Kimmel still on the top of the screen, strong. Going to finish just ahead of the middle of the pack. Now we see the backstrokers. Right now, lane 4 is Foster Swanson. He's got a nice steady rhythm. All right, you look around lane 1. It's a good tempo with lane 1. That's Dane Pfeifferling. It's interesting to watch this field. It does not look like there's many natural backstrokers in this field, so they're all kind of hanging in there, sticking together a little bit, and staying kind of. Everybody's, you know, a little bit of movement here, but not as much. Surprised we didn't see a you know, that a field like this that you wouldn't have. Again, it just doesn't look like there's a natural backstroker in this field. So, and that's not a criticism. It just.
No, I understand. Like when I see the backstroke, it looks so like.
Again, there could be some natural backstrokers that aren't fully rested or a little bit tired right now. So, so we'll see. But you don't like you know, a really good backstroke. You see them really tall, nice, easy tempo. The feet are up and everything. And you know, again, right now we see Foster Swanson with some nice tempo and everything. The head's a little bit down, but just we'll see how it goes. So it'll be really interesting. You know, I think we'll see some breaststrokers coming up. So.
Right.
See a lot of long glides into the wall. That's other trademark of somebody who's not a strong backstroker. So.
Now, I do have a question for like just being a coach on the side. Or
Right.
Does your players see you? Does your swimmers see you? Because I always wonder, like there's people on the side trying to talk to their swimmers. I feel like the swimmers are in the zone, so. What's going on?
In butterfly and breaststroke, when you're swimming straight ahead, now if you look, I don't know if we'll pick it up on the camera, but when the swimmers get to the turn, you'll see some of their teammates over the end of the lane. And they're swimming breaststroke and butterfly, they're looking straight ahead. A lot of swimmers, we want them to keep their eyes in the gutter and, you know, keep their eyes in the pool. In the gutter. It's the gutter of the pool. I'm not, you know, we're trying to keep this clean here.
Got to keep our minds out the gutter.
Exactly. So, right there we saw, real quick, Kyle Folkstrom in lane 6 with a dominating 39.6. A couple of guys with some 41s. Will Herwig in lane 3 is moving up on Foster Swanson, who was our earlier leader. But right now, so swimmers are swimming breaststroke and butterfly, they're looking forward. When they swim freestyle, the coaches are typically on the side of the pool. they can see their coaches, and so, you know, coaches have different signals, but sometimes it's whistling loud. I was a whistler, and
I've been hearing
so
whistling.
yeah, so you know, and boy, a great split there from Kyle Folkstrom. Nice job there, and Will Herwig touches second with just ahead of Foster Swanson. Now we'll see the freestylers, and we're starting to see again lane 4, Foster Swanson. Looks like he's got a really strong freestyle. And but I don't know that they're going to catch Kyle Folkstrom because he's got a strong freestyle too. So see some of the other swimmers making some moves. But back to what do the swimmers see in here?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's funny. I've had swimmers that they knew exactly where I was standing and they're breathing to my side. And as soon as they got by me, they breathed to the other side, so they have to look at me, whatever my antics were. So it is interesting. I mean, different kids do it differently, and some coaches, you know, they have different hand motions or sounds and things like that they'll show. You know, like, you know, if you see a coach like spinning his arms, let's get going. You know, if you see a coach rolling his eyes, you know, that's probably not a good thing. So there's all sorts of different signs. The coach is sitting down, it's probably a really bad thing. So
I'm done.
So as we thought, yeah, Kyle Folkstrom does hang on. Foster Swanson had a great last 50, a second and a half faster than Kyle, but Kyle was had enough of a lead to hang on. So those are our B finalists. Again, still some young 15, 16-year-olds in this heat. You know, a lot of kids who are not fully resting for this meet, or this isn't their championship meet. They'll swim in the morning to get some swims in, and then they'll scratch out of finals and go home. And the coaches want them to rest a little bit because they're probably got a meet coming up next weekend. So, so there's you will see some more scratching in this meet than normal.
I like the strats.
The championship final in the men's 400-meter individual medley. In lane 1 from St. Charles, Nathaniel Baxter. In lane 2 from Bloomington, Camden Swigert. In lane 3 from Peoria, Justin Alderson. In lane 4 from Wheaton, Trevor Carter. In lane 5 from Academy Bullets, Jack O'Connor. In lane 6 from Academy Bullets, William Camps. In lane 7 from Wheaton, Samuel Flessner. In lane 8 from Fox Valley, Connor Wang. In lane 9 from Dunlap Dolphins, William Boley. And in lane 10 from Chicago Park District, Daniel Galinski.
And we're back. And this is, of course, the men's 400 long course meter individual medley, and this is Heat A.
This is the A final. These are our top guys, and again, there's some really talented swimmers. Right there in the middle of the pool, Jack O'Connor from Academy Bullets and Will Camps. Will Camps just finished his freshman year at Penn, and so coming back, staying at home, do a little bit of training this summer. So not fully rested as some of these guys are. So, and some kids, you know, college swimmers may not do any big meets, and they'll just train all the way through the summer so they can be ready in the fall to go when they get back to college. And coach isn't yelling at them, asking what they did all summer. So Justin Alderson from Peoria is out with the leaders. And it's Justin, and then lane 6 is William Camps, and in lane 9 is William Boley. At the Toronto camp, we had a Boley, a Bailey, and Boyle.
And it was chaotic, I assume.
Well, I'm trying to get their passports straightened out.
Oh, no.
So, I was the camp director, camp manager, and many of the coaches that are on deck today were on that camp staff. And so, while even when we get the athletes together and there's some camaraderie for them, you know, we worked, Dave Krodiak and I have been friends for 30 years on the pool deck, and he was on that camp staff. Steve Aida, who I've known for a long time, but really never spent a lot of time with, got to spend some time with him. And all the other coaches on the staff, and so it was a great Charlie Yord from Bloomington Normal, and so it was really John Addison from BR Ryle, Alex Cato from New Trier, and I hope I'm not missing anybody.
And then I had a co-manager for the camp, and that's Kate Chronic. So it was great for us coaches to get together. You know, we all sit together, have meals, 3 meals a day. So we're getting to share some ideas and things like that. So it was a lot of fun for the coaches too. Great learning experience all the way around. So Will Camp's continuing his dominance of this heat, but William Boley is really moving up on the backstroke. I would not be surprised if Will Boley has the lead going into the breaststroke leg. Will Camps is a really strong IMer. In fact, backstroke is arguably his worst stroke, so we'll see what he does on the back half of this race.
Right.
I keep calling him Will Camps. His mom wants us to call him William, so I told his mom if he's having a great day at practice, I'd call him William. If he's on a mediocre day, it was Will. If he's having a lousy day, it was Willie. So, as you can see, he has a lot of William days in his training. So,
yes.
William Camps moving up along on the inside is his teammate Jack O'Connor, and Will's kind of holding on there, and it looks like up there in lane 9, Will Boley is hanging in there. Doesn't look like, I think he's fading just a little bit on the breaststroke, so I would expect to see him really get moving on the freestyle. Will Camps is also a really, really strong freestyler too, so it'll be an interesting final to this race.
And so far this race is relatively close.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
And right now we're in the breaststroke part.
And we're seeing Jack O'Connor starting to move up a little bit, but again, he's going to have he's going to have his hands full of Will, because Will's a good distance freestyler. That's what you really want at the end. Somebody who can really get the legs going at the end of the freestyle leg and be able to have a strong leg, and I think that's what we would see from Will Camps. So, but Jack O'Connor, strong swimmer too, so we'll see what the field has to store. I think this race is really going to be about probably a battle for 3rd and 4th place at this point.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody breaking up Will Camps and Jack O'Connor going 1-2. Will Boley looks solidly in 3rd place, and then it's a real free-for-all for 4th place, being led by lane number 2, Camden Swigert. He's kind of the leader of that little pack of lanes 1 through 4. We'll see these guys looking at each other, and we'll see if they get a little race going. Now you watch Will Camps. We kind of talked about this. William Camps has got just a strong freestyle. Look how big that kick is. That's a lot of kicking for this late in the race. And then you see Jack O'Connor too. He's got a steady kick, but it's not quite as big as Will Camps. And you see Will Camps pulling away from the field because of that. William Boley also up there, hanging in there. Down here in lane 2, we talked about this too. There's a cluster of guys. But in lane 2, it's Camden Swigert with the big kick, and he's with the better tempo, and that's why he's pulling ahead of those guys. I would be remiss not to mention lane 6, because he had lane 7. Sam Fleissner had a great last race that felt 50 going 30 point. Will Camps 433.2, just off the winter national qualifying time, 5 seconds off the summer nationals. So we have a winter nationals and summer nationals, different qualifying times. A lot of the college kids don't go to the winter national meets, so those times going to be a little bit slower than what we see in other races. Yep, we are going to take an awards break now.
In 7th place from Academy Bullets, Lindsay Merck. In 6th place from NASA, Casey Fenn. In 5th place from Academy Bullets, Catherine Euler. In 4th place from NASA, Carly Novoline. In 3rd place from Patriot Aquatic Club, Emma Gleason. In 2nd place from NASA, Tara Volk. And your champion with a winning time of 101.27 from Bloomington Waves, Julia Heimstead. Ladies, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. The top 10 finishers in event number 8, the men's 100-meter butterfly. In 10th place from NASA, John Thorne. In 9th place from St. Charles Swim Team, Nathaniel Baxter. In 8th place from NASA Wildcat, Ezra Mizgala. In 7th place from Palatine, Gavin Hill. In 6th place from St. Charles, Alexei Filipovic. In 5th place from Wheaton Swim Club, Andrew Dye. In 4th place from Maverick Swim Club, Bradley Sanford. In 3rd place from West Chicago, Garrett Clayson. In 2nd place from West, Jeffrey Vitek. And your champion with a winning time of 56.27 from Academy Bullets, Nolan Fergus. Top 10 finishers in the 400-meter individual medleys. Please be in the award staging area. Please report to the award staging area. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Your top 10 finishers in event number 9. In 10th place, from Academy Bullets, Allison Penrod. In 9th place from NASA, Emma Ruby. In 8th place, from Academy Bullets, Samantha Rankin. In 7th place, from Academy Bullets, Sydney Kelly. In 6th place, from Academy Bullets, Katie O'Connell. In 5th place from St. Charles Swim Team, Peyton Baxter. In 4th place from YWCA Flying Fish, Cleo Hancock. In 3rd place from Academy Bullets, Nina Mullen. In 2nd place from NASA Wildcat Aquatics, Annika Wagner. And your champion with a winning time of 4:53.24 from NASA, Electra Level. At this time, the competition pool is closed. Please clear the competition pool. Again, swimmers, at this time, the competition pool is closed. Please begin clearing the competition pool. Athletes, please clear the pool. All athletes, please clear the pool. Your top 10 finishers in event number 10, the men's 400-meter individual medley. In 10th place from Chicago Park District, Daniel Kalinsky. In 9th place from Fox Valley, Connor Wang. In 8th place from Peoria, Justin Alderson. In 7th place from St. Charles, Nathaniel Baxter. In 6th place from Wheaton, Trevor Carter. In 4th place from Wheaton, Samuel Flessner. In 4th place from Bloomington Normal Swim Club, Camden Swigert. In 3rd place from Dunlap Dolphins, William Boley. In 2nd place from Academy Bullets, Jack O'Connor. And your winner, with a time of 4:33.21 from Academy Bullets, William Kitts.
Okay, we are back here at the 2019 Illinois Senior Swimming Championships. It is the long course version of these championships. I am Jay Pfeiffer, joined by Michael Reed. And Michael, this is one of the most exciting parts of this 4-day event for me. It's relay time, just one of the relay races that will be run here in this event, or in this 4-day championship meet. Of course, we usually start with the ladies, and we're doing that this time. Again, this is event number 11, the women's 800-meter freestyle relay. Let me give you those lane assignments. In lane 1, it'll be Glenbrook A relay. In lane 2, and lanes 2, 3, and 4 will be Academy Bullets. They're relay D, C, and B teams. In lane 5, we've got the A relay from Nassau Wildcat. In lane 6, it's the A relay from Academy Bullets. In lane 7, it's St. Charles, their A relay. In lane 8, it's Nutrien Aquatics, their A relay. In 9, it's the Maverick Swim Club, it's their A relay. And in lane 10, at the top of your screen, it is St. Charles, their B relay.
I think I see a pattern of Academy Bullets. I see a lot.
Yep. You will notice that, again, as we move along throughout the rest of this weekend, Michael, that Academy Bullets, one of the standout programs here in Illinois swimming. A deep program from all age groups. We'll check out the kids in a couple of weeks. But again, they're a very, very solid program, but one of many here in Illinois swimming. As those first 50-meter split time, I believe that was Wildcat A with a 30.02 split. Approaching that first 100 meters now. We'll give you those split times. It is Academy A. 102.51, 32.68 on their split time.
They're only ahead by a second.
Yeah, and again, this is a longer distance race, even though it is a relay. So you'll see a lot of these younger athletes. They're not trying to necessarily win the race in the first 50 meters or so. They're trying to build momentum, and again, they've got to build that speed into the second, third, and anchor legs of the relay. Approaching 150 meters. Again, it's Academy Bullets. They're A relay, having an outstanding race so far. They're leading the pack. About a body length lead. Our apologies to the viewers at home. We don't have the individual names for Academy Bullets, but right now they are in front. That is lane 6, but in lane 4 below them, that is the B relay starting to gain a little bit of ground. .200 meters. Transitioning into the second leg, it is the A relay first for Academy Bullets, followed by the B relay. 32.92 for Academy Bullets, their A squad.
Man, I feel like the Academy A team's probably gonna just win this one. Just what I've learned so far today from Bill and yourself. Academy has the best, what I've seen today. They're well-rounded.
Yeah, again, they're very deep, very talented, and again, we will be hearing their name a lot throughout this relay.
So we're now at the halfway point of this relay. These are the top swimmers the morning. We had most of the heat swam this morning. So tonight, this is the last 10 teams to swim. This is a time final event. So some of the teams are actually racing against the fastest swims from the morning. Typically, you don't see a swim in the morning that's fast enough to outswim the leaders. But I think we had a Fox relay this morning that was pretty strong. Right now, the Academy Bullets out to a comfortable lead. One of the interesting things about the 800 free relay, each swimmer swimming 200 yards, and when you're in a relay situation like this, the challenge is to not go out too fast because you will get excited, you want to help out your relay. Right. And so it's really, really important that you don't go crazy on the first 100 or first 50. We talked about it earlier today when we were talking about the 200s, is to actually build up your race. And also some of these girls, they swam the 200 free this morning, they swam it this afternoon, this evening, in the final. This could be their third 200 of the day, so that can get a little bit taxing and you maybe overthink the race a little bit. But there were two big relays, one big relay this morning. That was the Fox relay, went an 8:36 this morning. It's a really, really strong time with some really good swimmers. The two Steege girls, Megan Cizak and McKenna Stone. Those are four of the top swimmers in Illinois, and so they swam that relay in the morning. Those girls are getting ready for other national meets, so they're not coming back and swimming in the finals tonight. May see them later on the weekend swimming through the finals, but some different teams are doing different things. Some teams bring their coach, just their top swimmers for one day, and let them rest up for the rest of the week and get prepared. You don't want to do a full-blown program this week if you're going to go, if your real meet, you're not real, but your focus meet is next week. Yeah. So you don't want to kill yourself. So here we go, coming into the final leg. Academy Bullets with a dominating lead, and they are turning at a 6:24. They need to be 2 minutes, or the anchor swimmer here for Academy needs to be 2 minutes and 12 seconds to beat the Fox girls. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on her splits and see where she's at. So 6:24.03. In second place, we have, is that New Trier? Oh, goodness. How about if I do some math here? I'm sorry, yeah, Wild in second place. Academy Bullets A is in first, Wild A is in second, and Academy Bullets B is in third right now. It's very likely that the Fox relay will slip into that second spot, could slip into that first place spot if the Academy Bullets anchor cannot hang on.
Now for a relay, there has to be strategies.
Sure. I mean, some of the strategies are, where do you put your strongest swimmers? Where do you put your weaker swimmers? You know, in an 800 free relay like this, if you lead off with your weakest swimmer, I want to see what the split is. So she's out in 102. So really, she's just got to come back in a 110 here. I think it's pretty likely. She looks like she's got put some comfort here. But you also have the NASA swimmer, the wild swimmer coming up strong too. So it's going to be a battle for a couple of, battling for the first place finish, but also battling Fox who you can't see.
Right.
So the strategy here is, if you put your best swimmer out there and get a big lead front early, then the other swimmers had to defend that. So you want your best swimmer to be somewhere, it can be, sometimes you throw it out there and you want your swimmers to just defend that lead and get out there in the lead, get comfortable, and it's like, just put them in get uncomfortable.
Right.
So a great final leg here from the wild swimmer, and we're seeing that so now I think you see the bullet swimmer starting to catch on there and see her coming, and she's all of a sudden picking up her kick. You're racing for your entire team here. You're not just racing for yourself, you're racing for your entire team. And it's just who gets their hand on the wall. It was Academy Bullets by 3/100ths of a second. They went a 31.4 and a 31.4. Third place was Academy Bullets B with an 8:38. However, Fox was 8:36 in the morning. Those times factor in, so Fox will be third. Academy Bullets B is fourth. So we're talking about the strategies, and also some of that strategy is also to where to put your weakest link and where to put your stronger swimmer.
Right.
In a race like this, maybe you put your weakest swimmer last because you get out there, get the lead, and make them own it and earn it. And so
See, that's what I was going to ask you, because I know in track you want your anchor to go last. You're like your best of the best.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is that if you have if your relay isn't super strong, and then you put your swimmer last, and you're out of the relay, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we wasted it. So
Okay, that makes sense.
depends where you're at, depends on the strength of the other swimmers. So, and we've seen people do it different ways, and it depends on the type of swimmers that you have on the relay.
Exactly.
Some kids, you put them out there front, and they freak out, and they're not going to be, they're not going to push themselves. Some kids, they have the lead and they just don't want to give it up, so they I know I have to get the lead.
Right.
If I'm racing against a relay and we've got Fox, Rachel Steed here, we got some really stud swimmer at the back of that relay. My swimmers know they're going to need a 2 to 3 second lead if we're going to win that event.
Exactly.
So so maybe you don't a situation like that could be one set of factors. I've seen teams that just went fast to slow on the relay, tried to get out there, get a big lead as they can, try to demoralize the other team. So, there's all sorts of different strategies, and there's and I have put fastest swimmers first, second, third, and fourth. I put slowest swimmers first, second, third, and fourth. So, and some kids, you put them in the middle of the relay and they kind of hide a little bit. So you put them in the front, you put them in the back, and it so it forces them to own their swim a little bit more.
So it just definitely depends on the mindset of the swimmer.
Absolutely. That's a huge part of it. So right now we have lane 4, St. Charles Swim. Lane 4 is Patriot Aquatic Club.
Yep.
They're putting out one of their bigger guns out front. He's out in a 54 seconds, it looks like. So 54.9. Wow. Right behind him is Wild and Glenbrook. And again, it's a long race. It's going to be about 8 minutes, 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes long. And so, again, one of the most important things, and this you see it a lot, so you're behind. So you go out there and go crazy the first 50, and then you end up burning yourself out.
Right.
And then you're set, so where if you'd have gone out a second slower, you might have been 2 to 3 seconds faster on the back 100, because that's how much it can cost you. So you really have to be cautious. And, we always tell our swimmers, we harp and harp and harp to control the first 50. Don't get excited. You can't win the race on the first 50, but you can lose it on the first 50, and that's so important. So, and this 200 free is probably in track similar to the 800.
Right.
If you sprint that first 200, you're going to be a corpse.
Oh, gosh, yes.
It's the same. If you go out like a fox, you'll come home in a box. So, you've got to be careful on going out too fast and dying. So now we're turning it over to the second swimmers. And you look here, again, I don't know if you see some of these swimmers, they got a really big kick. And so you got to, and here's, lane 4. And, I don't know how strong a swimmer the swimmer is for Pack. But, if he gets too excited because he's got the lead and he wants to hang on to it, he could cause some problems later on.
Right.
Over here you see lane 6, a big opening first 50 from Wild. Again, I don't know the kids, so some kids can go out that strong and they're that talented and they've got that much
experience that they know they know how they're controlling their race. Some kids are really young and they just get excited.
Yeah.
So you just don't
Just
know.
happy to be here.
You'll find it. You'll know on the second half. So but. Sometimes you'll see the swimmers in the front half get reeled in a little bit, then all of a sudden they open their lead back again because they swam the race a little bit differently.
Exactly. And that all, I assume, deals with experience and know-how to just not do your first 50 like that.
Absolutely. You cannot go crazy on that first 50.
Right.
You will pay for it majorly.
Right, because like as a casual fan or just as a novice, you would just think like, okay, if I just go as fast as I can right now, I could make this huge lead
Sure.
and just
Yeah.
cruise after that.
Yeah, there's no cruising on that. And the interesting thing is we see swimmers, and they're fully tapered, right, and they get after it and they're going out strong, and you're just you're thinking to yourself, this is going to be really good or really bad, but there's not going to be in the middle.
It can't be
and
both.
sometimes those kids, they're nailed their taper. They worked hard all season long, and then they get back there and they go out and throw it on big swim, and you're like, whoa, your best time in the 50, your best time in the 100, and your best time for the 200. So. And this race has been really good here. And we saw lane 6, the swimmer from Wild, did a great job. He got out strong, but then held on with the pack swimmer. But look at lane 7 too. That's the Glenbrook swimmer. So I'm trying to see who's on these relays and try to see it. Looks, I don't know if that's Aida or not going in lane 7. Right now it's still Pack, it's still it's Wild, and it's still Glenbrook. But now let's look at lane 9. So that's Glenbrook B.
Right.
So now it's possible they split their relays. Possible somebody on there, so we'll see, because the Glenbrook A and B relays are very close to each other. So sometimes those teams will split the relays to have their relays race each other and things like that. So not often at a state meet where only top 3 get medals, but so it's interesting. So right now we're seeing Pack maintaining their lead, some steady swimming by the lead teams. We're seeing lanes 2 and 9 start to move up. That's New Trier and Glenbrook B. So the field is definitely tightening a little bit. And look at those splits: 29.7 to 30.1. 30.7 from the middle of the field there. Pack swimmer in lane 4, 31.2. That's a little bit of a sign. That's definitely a sign of some fatigue. May have gone out a little bit too fast.
Oh, no.
And now we see, and I think that's Aida in lane 7 from Glenbrook, but I'm not sure. But it's a very, very solid swim right now in lane 7. So tomorrow we'll have to get the heat sheets, and so we'll know who's swimming with the names on it. So the teams don't have to turn their relay names in until later. So our heat sheets were printed. And we got the results from this morning from the relays, but we didn't get the heat sheet. So we'll get those tomorrow night so we can speak with some sort of intelligence on who's swimming in the water. But yeah, right now lane 7, Glenbrook looks really, really strong. But lane 6, Wild is answering the call. Lane 4, the swimmer from Pack is hanging in there. And so we'll see what everybody has coming home now.
Oh, here they go.
And it's interesting too, I don't know if the fans can see the relay changes, but there's multiple different ways you can do a relay change: with the fin on the block, with the fin off the block, step up 1 foot, step up 2 starts, all sorts of different techniques that people use in order to try to gain an advantage on the exchange and try to carry as much momentum as you can. So right now we see lane 6, we see Wild now taking the lead again with a 25.4. Glenbrook 26.4. So you think, hey man, 25.4 versus 26.4, that's really good. Maybe, we'll see. So we'll see what the back half looks like. So maybe the 26.4 swimmers just swim a little bit more controlled. We'll see.
And that is what lane?
That is lane 5, which it's Pack. It's Wild.
Okay.
Lane 6.
Lane 6.
So lane 6 is Wild, lane 7 is Glenbrook, and lane 8 is Glenbrook B. I think there's a problem with the Pack, because lane 8 triggered right after it, and they shouldn't have done that. So,
Right. Why shouldn't they have done this?
Well, because the swimmer's just coming in now, so for some reason the pad touched for lane 8. So
okay.
I'm not sure why that was. So
That's strange.
might have been they were touching at the other end too.
Yeah.
Now my guess is this is Wild lane 8, so it's probably Luke Maurer anchoring that relay is my guess. So
Looks pretty dominant right now. Splitting 29s. Not a lot of guys in the state that are doing that. So, but watch this last 50 here. So now I'm thinking this is Aida in the water because he's one of the Glenbrook's best swimmers. And he's given the wild swimmer a run for the money. This is really great. Let's watch this last one. Remember, we talked about the difference between a 25 opening split and a 26 opening split. And look at the Glenbrook swimmer came home on 7 tenths faster. So, you know, again, a very controlled swim and 2 different ways to swim that race. But the wild swimmer swam more consistent. The Glenbrook swimmer built it up a little bit more. So it's just a different way to swim it. At the end of the day, Wild is your state champion, followed by Glenbrook second place, and then Pack in third. They hung on after having to lead early.
That today has been a great day for swimming, I would have to say.
A lot of fun racing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And before we end the day, we have one more sponsorship. Oceans Apparel. Oceans Apparel is a proud sponsor of Illinois swimming. Over the past 17 years, Oceans Apparel has helped organizations raise over $2 million. Yes, $2 million to help support youth athletics. Stop by their booth to pick up your official event merchandise and see all of the different styles and prints they have to offer. Remember to ask the Oceans Apparel representative how they can help raise funds for your organization. And so right now, we're going to read day 3 events. So to start off, we're going to start off tomorrow with the 200 individual medley. The 50 freestyle is going to be after that. And then we'll have an award break. And then after that award break, we'll have a 200 breaststroke. And then after that, the 100 backstroke and another award break. Then we'll do the 400 freestyle, another award break. And then after that, we will do the 400 medley relay.
Yeah, in the morning. So tomorrow morning, we will not have the awards breaks. We'll just swim through the prelims, and we'll have the awards breaks in the afternoon. So, but you know, we start off with the 200 IM. We finished today with the 400 IM. That was our last individual event. 200 IM is a little bit more of a sprint race, so a little bit different format. We'll see some different things, some sprints, some middle distance, so a little bit of everything, and you know, we'll see all 4 strokes tomorrow.
And yes, next we are doing the awards break, and that will close the ceremony.
Yeah, we have just the relays now, so
Yes.
top 3 relays will go to the awards podium. So a lot of these kids you see in the pool right now, they're still in the water warming down a little bit, but we'll start getting the girls while the guys are warming down. The girls will go up and get their awards, and then we'll get the guys and get out of here.
from Fox Valley Swim Team, Megan Cizak, Kristen Stieg, McKenna Stone, and Rachel Stieg. In second place, NASA Wildcat, the team of Casey Venn, Annika Wagner, Audrey Richardson, and Carly Noveline. And your champions, with a winning time of 8:31.42, the team of Jessica Cheriani, Kira McGowan, Nina Mullen, and Sydney Kelly. They are Academy Bullets. And now, the top three finishers in event number 12, the men's 800-meter freestyle relay. In third place, the team of Andrew Dye, Trevor Carter, Samuel Flessner, and Liam Hutchinson, Wheaton Swim Club. In second place, the team of Sammy Musali, Daniel Young, Max Ida, and Ryan Purdy, Glenbrook Swim Club. And your champions, with a winning time of 7:49.26, the team of Rex Maurer, Everett Andrew, Charles Duffy, and Luke Maurer, NASA Wildcat.
Welcome back for the last hurrah for tonight's 2019 Illinois LC Senior Swimming Championships for the Friday finals. Now, before we go, we have to thank Marriott. Marriott is the official sponsor of USA Swimming, Team Unify, Bag Tags, and the Hasty Awards. Thank you, Marriott. And then, before we also go, I want to recognize Alaya Levenberger from BR Ariel YMCA. Will represent Team USA at the 2019 World Para Swim MENA Championships in September in London, England. And then let's also recognize Trevor Tucci, Bloomington Normal Swim Club, and Mackenzie Strong, Mundelein Mustang Swim Club. Thank you to the Academy Bullets Swim Club for hosting the 2019 Swimmer Senior Long Course Championships. And let's also thank the hosts and meet the host directors. Meet directors Todd Capon and Brian Brown, and entry chair Todd Capon. And then meet and admin referee, meet referee, and Whittleson, and administrative referee, Brett Lightfoot, and all our officials. We're gonna close tonight. Tune in the morning, tomorrow morning, around 8 a.m. You know what, just stay on the YouTube channel. It's a great site. You can see former streams. It's a beautiful page. And more specifically, if you don't know, watch the great history you have, check us out at 8:25 a.m. I was your play-by-play for the night, Michael Reed, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.